Ishani to perform the Arangettam this evening and shower his blessings. And we extend a warm welcome to everybody. Next program is Ishani's grandparents, my mom and dad, would like to welcome everyone. I would request mom and dad to come and speak few words and welcome everybody. Thank you. And Venkat will speak.
All right. Thank you everyone for coming today to grace Ishani's event. As she is ascending the stage, that means it's Ranga Pravesh or Arangettam. So this is just the beginning, not the end for her. We are really blessed that you guys are here. And please enjoy the program. Thank you.
Myself and my wife Balamani, as grandparents of Ishani Gutta and as parents of Arundhati Gutta and as in-laws of Venkatramana Gutta, wholeheartedly welcome all of you, and more particularly those kith and kin and relatives and well-wishers who came all the way from India and also from up the states of this country. Ishani Gutta has learned Bharatanatyam for the last 12 years, and without much disturbance to her formal education, she has concentrated more on Bharatanatyam and come up to the stage of Arangettam. In fact, in the beginning, I was wondering whether this Bharatanatyam is of any use in future. But my daughter and my son-in-law were always in favor of her completing the course of Bharatanatyam, and that's how they relentlessly took interest and always taken her to every class without missing. That's how she could even more interest and came to the stage of Arangettam. Arundhati and Ramana have struggled a lot to bring her to the stage of Arangettam. So we wish Ishani Gutta success in her future life, and also we bless you, and we sincerely request all of you to bless her, and she deserves blessings of all of you. Thank you.
ఇక్కడికి విచ్చేసిన బంధువులకు, మిత్రులకు, శ్రేయోభిలాషులకు
అందరికీ నా వందనాలు. మా చిరంజీవి ఈశానిని వైద్య వృత్తిలో బాగా రాణించాలని, అందరికీ సేవ చేయాలని, మిమ్మల్ని అందరినీ దీవించమని కోరుతున్నాను.
The next item is Ishani's Nanama, that's Venkat's mother, my mother-in-law. I want to say a few words from India. She couldn't make it. Sam, video number 1. Can you please play video number 1?
ఇషాని అమెరికాలో భరతనాట్యం అరంగేట్రం చేయు సందర్భంలో నేను నా మనవరాలకి ఆశీర్వచనాలు పలుకుతున్నాను. ఈ సందర్భంలో నా మనవరాలు అందరికీ సహాయం చేయాలని కోరుకుంటున్నాను.
Thank you, Ataya. The next item is Ganesh Stuti by Shreya Boja. Shreya, I would request you to come onto the stage and sing Ganesh Stuti.
Andarki Namaskaram. My name is Shreya Boja. I would like to congratulate Ishani and her family for on this Arangetram, and I would like to thank Arundhati auntie and Venkat uncle for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. मुदाकरातमोदकं सदा विमुक्तिसाधकं कलाधरावतंसकं विलासिलोकरक्षकं मुदाकरातमोदकं सदा विमुक्तिसाधकं कलाधरावतंसकं विलासिलोकरक्षकम् अनायकैकनायकं विनाशिते भदैत्यकं नताशुभाशुनाशकं नमामिदं विनायकम् नमामिदं विनायकम् न तेतरातिभीतरं नवोदितार्कभास्वरं न मत्सुरारिनिर्जरं न तादिपापदुद्धरं न तेतरातिभीतरं नवोदितार्कभास्वरं न मत्सुरारिनिर्जरं न तादिपापदुद्धरं सुरेश्वरं निधीश्वरं गजेश्वरं गणेश्वरं माहेश्वरं तमाश्रये परात्परं निरन्तरम् परात्परं निरन्तरम् समस्तलोकशङ्करं निरस्तदैत्यकुञ्जरं दरेदरोदरं वरं वरेव वक्त्रमक्षरं समस्तलोकशङ्करं निरस्तदैत्यकुञ्जरं दरेदरोदरं वरं वरेव वक्त्रमक्षरं कृपाकरं क्षमाकरं मुदाकरं यशस्करं मनस्करं नमस्कृतां मनस्करोमि भास्वरम् अकिञ्चनातिमार्जनं चिरन्तनोक्तिभाजनं पुरारिपूर्वनन्दनं सुरारिगर्वचर्वनं प्रपञ्चनाशभीषणं धनञ्जयादिभूषणं कपोलदानवारणं भजे पुराणवारणं Atmajam Achintya Roopamantainamantaraaya Krintanam Hridantare Nirantanam Vasantameva Yoginam Tamekadantameva Tam Vichintayami Santatam Hridantare Nirantaram Vasantameva Yoginam Tamekadantameva Tam Vichintayami Santatam. ధన్యవాదాలు.
Thank you, Shreya. Shreya is only 12 years old. Then Venkat would like to introduce about the Guru.
First, I would like to say a few words about Ishani's Guru, Mrs. Asha Premlata. Asha Prem, sorry. And she started a dance academy in St. Louis, Dances of India, back in 1970. Actually, she came to this country in 1963. With a great passion, she's a great dancer with her husband, late husband. They started this dance school in St. Louis. So how we know Asha is right, we were attending an Arangettam in Tampa 2 years back. One of my best family friends, Sanjeev's daughter, Neha, they are here. So that's how we met Asha, and we asked, can you let Ishani perform our Arangettam? Because she learned from other gurus, and unfortunately things didn't work out well anyway. So this is about Mrs. Asha Prem. She's an artistic director of Dances of India, one of the oldest schools in United States, in fact in North America. Now they are running their 46th season, and their organization won the National Endowments for the Arts Award in 2023. And Asha ji is a visionary, so she's not just Bharatanatyam guru, but also she's very innovative, blends Western music with Bharatanatyam, and also she was a faculty of Washington University in St. Louis. So we are very privileged. Ishani is very lucky to have her as our guru. And we wholeheartedly thank her for taking Ishani as her student or disciple.
So I would like to introduce Ms. Nartana Prem Chandra. Nartana Prem Chandra is the daughter of Mrs. Asha Prem and Dr. Prem Chandra. She is the president of Dances of India. She is a dancer, writer, storyteller. She was highlighted by the St. Louis Regional Arts Commission in February 2022 and was featured artist for the Missouri Arts Council in March 2021. She's an excellent story editor, and she was on New York City-based Parabola, The Search for Meaning. To learn more about Nartana, you can visit her website, nartanapremchandra.com. You will be amazed how she tells the stories, and I would invite, you can hear how Nartana runs the show. And today's master of ceremony is Ms. Nartana Prem Chandra. I invite Nartana to the stage. Give a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm delighted to be here. It was a total surprise when I emceed Neha's Arangetram, Neha Sherawat in Tampa. I never imagined someone there in the audience would ask, there we go, okay. I never imagined someone there in the audience would see us and ask my mom to ask my mom to teach their daughter and ask me to MC Ishani's Arangettam. I never imagined it, so here we are in Naperville, and I'm delighted to be here. So I've seen Ishani dance, I've seen the stage rehearsal, and so she's a beautiful dancer, so you are in for a treat, I can promise you. So let's begin. So here we are here at an Arangettam. So what's an Arangettam? So to truly understand what you are going to experience tonight, what we are all experiencing tonight, I thought let's start at the very beginning, way back. So let's go all the way back to the 3rd century BCE. In the great city of Alexandria, Egypt, on the mouth of the Nile, there's a king, and he builds a great lighthouse. A great lighthouse. It's the first lighthouse in the world, and there was an actual fire burning. So light takes its place upon the earth. A couple thousand miles to the west of that, on the island of Sicily, there's a mathematician, endlessly inventive, and he discovers the meaning of the number pi, the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter. So now the power of mathematics begins its ascent upon the earth. And also in the 3rd century BCE in South India, a sage named Bharata, and we don't know if it's one sage or if there were many sages, but anyway, we call him Bharata. He wrote a treatise called the Natya Shastra on music and dance. It is one of the earliest treatises on music and art in the world, and he really delves into the depth and meaning of music and dance. While they do offer entertainment for sure, they have a much, much deeper meaning. And so the Natya Shastra details the role music plays in one's life. It is meant to evoke emotions, the rasa, the emotion in you when you listen to a certain melody, and the role that dance plays in one's life. So dance, classical Indian dance, is performed with the feet, of course. You're going to see lots of amazing rhythm. You will also see different hand movements. The hands are constantly moving because this dance is all about storytelling, ultimately. So right there in the 3rd century BC, we have light, mathematics, music, and dance. They all really began to flower. So now back to our question, what is an Arangettam? So this beautiful art, which was created over hundreds of years and codified starting in the 3rd century BCE, had to be carried on, right? Dance is a living, dynamic art. So it had to be carried on for centuries. Who carried on this art? These were the Devadasis, a class of women, like maybe comparable to high priestesses in Rome and Greece. And they carried on this art for centuries in the temples and palaces of South India. So if you can imagine, in the 9th century in South India, by the end of the 9th century, there were over 270 temples. So if you're imagining now, just picture walking in the Indian countryside, which would have been so lush and abundant with all kinds of life at that time. And you're walking and perhaps you see a thicket of banyan trees and margosa trees and gulmohar. You hear birds fly, birds sing, you see them fly. And then you begin to hear a sound. And this is music. This music from a temple. Maybe the priests are chanting the Samaveda. Veda is knowledge. It's one of the first, there are 4 primary Vedas in Hinduism. And actually the Natya Shastra is considered the 5th Veda because it exists for everyone. Dance and music exists for everyone. So you're walking along and you hear the music, you hear the priest chant, perhaps you hear the veena being played, the stringed instrument of South India. And then you arrive at the temple and you see dancers. So the Devadasis danced in the temple. And in order to become a Devadasi, young girls were sent to be trained at a very young age. But before they could perform, they gave what's called an Arangettam. Arangettam is a Tamil word, Tamil, the language of South India, one of the languages of South India, and Arang is stage, and Atram is climbing. So the dancer climbs upon the stage. So tonight we're going to see Ishani give her Arangettam. Now in the old days, there would have been, the guru would have given, or performed rather, a Navagraha puja, a puja to the 9 planets, a ritual honoring the 9 planets before the Arangettam began. Then the elder Devadasis would put turmeric on her to sanctify her, and she would have a light meal of perhaps rice, jaggery, some fruits. And then she would be gathered, there would be a gathering, of her family, patrons of art, and perhaps even the king. We don't have a king here tonight, but we have Venkat. So Ishani's father, who's going to watch his daughter dance, and Arundhati as well. They are present at their daughter's Arangettam. So the Arangettam begins. It's in the pillared hall of the temple, and you can imagine incense and just flowers everywhere. And then so the Arangettam begins. So the first dance in an Arangettam is a Pushpanjali. Pushpanjali is a salutation with flowers, and it sanctifies the stage, it sanctifies the whole atmosphere of the Arangettam. This particular Pushpanjali, as it begins, you will see Ishani give many beautiful poses. And as she moves, she does, there's a lot of rhythm in it. As she moves, those movements help to delineate the space on the stage that is now sacred. We're seeing the sacred art form take place. We're entering a realm, a music dance theater. It's a higher realm. And the Pushpanjali also, in the Pushpanjali, she will honor Ganesha. Ganesha, the deity with the elephant ears, and the trunk in the shape of the symbol Om, which represents the sound of creation of the universe. He loves eating sweets, modaku, loves eating sweets. He removes the obstacles from everyone's lives. And buddhi, intelligence, is associated with him, as well as siddhi, supernatural power. The end of this dance, you see Ishani give a beautiful pose with the elephant, the Ganesha's ear, which is very sweet. So this is just the beginning, so enjoy Pushpanjali.
ಧಡದಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಗಿಟ ಧಿಂಗಿಣದು ಧೀಂಗಿಣದು ಧೀಂಗಿಣದು ತಾಂ 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 ತರಿ ತಗಿಟ ಧಿಂ 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 ಧಡದಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಗಿಟ ಧಿಂಗಿಣದು ಧೀಂಗಿಣದು ಧೀಂಗಿಣದು ತಾಂ 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 ತರಿ ತಗಿಟ ಧಿಂ 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 ಧಡದಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಗಿಟ ಧಿಂಗಿಣದು 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 ತಾಂ 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 ತರಿ ತಗಿಡ ಧಿಂ 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 ಧಡದಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಗಿಟ ಧಿಂಗಿಣದು 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 ತಾಂ 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 ತರಿ ತಗಿಡ ಧಿಂ 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 ಧಡದಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಗಿಟ ಧಿಂಗಿಣದು 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 ತಾಂ 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 ತರಿ ತಗಿಡ ಧಿಂ 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 ಧಡದಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಗಿಟ ಧಿಂಗಿಣದು 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 ತಾಂ 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 ತರಿ ತಗಿಡ ಧಿಂ 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 ಧಡದಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಗಿಟ ಧಿಂಗಿಣದು 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 ತೋಂ ತೋಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ಧೀಂ ಧೀಂ ತಗಿಡ ಧೀಂ ತಗಜಂ ತೋಂ ತೋಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ಧೀಂ ಧೀಂ ತಗಿಡ ಧೀಂ ತಗಜಂ ತಗಿಟ ಜಂ ತಗಿಟ ಜಂ ಸರಿ ಭವದ ತದಾಂ ತಗಿಟ ತಗ ಧೀಂ ಕಿಟಜಂ ತಗಿಟ ಜಂ ತಗಿಟ ಜಂ ಸರಿ ಭವದ ತದಾಂ ತಗಿಟ ತಗ ಧೀಂ ಕಿಟಜಂ ಸರಿ ಭರಿ ಭಗ ಭವದ ಪದ ಸರಿ ಸರಿ ಭರಿ ಭರಿ ಭವ ಭವ ಭವದ ಪದ ಪದ ತಲಿಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಲಿಗಿಡ ತಲಿಗಿಡ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಲಿಗಿಡ 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 ತಜ್ಜಂ ತಜ್ಜಂ ಗಜವದನಂ ಸರಸೀರುಹಚರಣಂ ಗಜವದನಂ ಸರಸೀರುಹಚರಣಂ ಸಿದ್ಧಿಪ್ರದಂ ಬುದ್ಧಿಪ್ರದಂ ಚತುರಕರಧರಂ ಮೋಕ್ಷಪ್ರದಾಯಕಂ ಗಜವದನಂ ಸರಸೀರುಹಚರಣಂ ಸಿದ್ಧಿಪ್ರದಂ ಬುದ್ಧಿಪ್ರದಂ ಚತುರಕರಧರಂ ಮೋಕ್ಷಪ್ರದಾಯಕಂ ಗಜವದನಂ 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 ಸರಸೀರುಹಚರಣಂ ಸಿದ್ಧಿಪ್ರದಂ ಬುದ್ಧಿಪ್ರದಂ ಚತುರಕರಧರಂ ಮೋಕ್ಷಪ್ರದಾಯಕಂ ಗಜವದನಂ ಸರಸೀರುಹಚರಣಂ ಪಾಶಾಂಕುಶಧರ ಪರಮ ಪವಿತ್ರಂ ಮೋದಕ ಪ್ರಿಯವರ ವಿಘ್ನ ವಿನಾಶಕಂ ಪಾಶಾಂಕುಶಧರ ಪರಮ ಪವಿತ್ರಂ ಮೋದಕ ಪ್ರಿಯವರ ವಿಘ್ನ ವಿನಾಶಕಂ ಗೌರಿ ಸುಧಂ ಪರಮ ಗುಣಶೇಖರಂ ಪ್ರಥಮ पूजित चरणं शिवप्रिय सततं गौरी सुतं परमा गुणशेखरं प्रथमा पूजित चरणं शिवप्रिय सततं गौरी सुतं परमा गुणशेखरं प्रथमा पूजित चरणं शिवप्रिय सततं गौरी सुधं परमा गुणशेखरं प्रथमा पूजित चरणं शिवप्रिय सततं दसनिदप मनिदपमरि सरि समरि पमद पमभदस सनिदसत्ति तपमभद्द सनिदसत्ति निदसत्ति సరి గజవదనం సరసీరుహచరణం సిద్ధిప్రదం బుద్ధిప్రదం చతురగరకరం మోక్షప్రదాయకం గజవదనం సరసీరుహచరణం సిద్ధిప్రదం బుద్ధిప్రదం చతురగరకరం మోక్షప్రదాయకం గజవదనం సరసీరుహచరణం గజవదనం
So that was a lovely beginning to the show. And we always begin any event with prayer to Ganesha or worshiping Ganesha. If you buy a new car or get a new house or start school or start a new job, Ganesha always begins the whole event. So you saw some expression now and some of the expressive storytelling that we use. And the next piece is Jatiswaram, which is just pure dance. So this is really a confection of pure music and rhythm. You're going to hear the syllables. You're going to hear the syllables of the Indian scale. That's better. Sari, Gama, Padani. And in the Natya Shastra, it does state the syllable sa, shagda, it does state that that begins any melody, that sets the tone for the rest of the syllables. And that means birth of six. So you have the six syllables following the sa. And in the rhythms of the dance, you're going to hear a lot of amazing rhythm tonight. There are certain cycles of rhythm that you hear. So, for example, 5 basic rhythm cycles are Tishra, Takita, Chatursha, Takadimi, Khanda, Takadimi, Takita, Mishra, 7, Takadimi, Takadimi, Takita, and then Sankirna, which is 9, sorry, Takadimi, Takita. So these are the basic rhythm cycles of Bharatanatyam. So this is the Jatiswaram. It's pure dance, but even in pure dance, you do have to follow your hands. Bharatanatyam is considered a yoga because if it's done properly, you have to make sure that everything is unified and your mental space is unified in your body, your hands, your feet, everything. You're one dancing being.
దసదమ్మా గరి సరి గస దసరి గమ దస 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 da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa
dalam kuda ka ta di da do hum da jam tari ka ta hum ta kundari ki da ta kundari ki da ta jam tari ka ta ta kundari ki da ta kundari ki da ta jam tari ka ta ka jam tari ka ta jam tari jam tari da ta ka de ki tar gi dam
da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da sa da sa da ma ga ri sa ri ga sa da sa ri ga ma da gama dama dasa sada magari sari gama dasa ri sada gari sada gama dama dasa sada magari sari gama dasa ri sada gari sada gama dama dasa magari sari gama dasa ri sada gari sada gama dama dasa magari sari gama dasa dasa dama gari sari kasa dasa ri gama dama dasa dasa dama gari sari kasa dasa ri gama dama dasa dasa dama gari sari gama dasa ri ma dasa sari gama dasa da ri sada gari sada sada ma da sada da ma gama dasa dama gari sari dasa ri ga sari gama ri gama dasa ma dasa ri gama gari gari ri sada ri sada ma sari gama dasa dasa dama gari sari gasa dasa ri gama dama dasa dasa dama gari sari gasa dasa ri gama dama dasa sada dama ma gari ri gasa dasa ri gama dasa sada dama ma gari ri gasa dasa ri gama dasa gari sada ri sada ma gari sa sari gama dasa gari sada ri sada ma gari sa sari gama dasa sa gari sada ri sada ma gari sa sari gama dasa sa gari sada ri sada ma gari sa sari gama dasa gari sada ri sada ma gari sa sari gama dasa ri gama ri gama dasa ma dasa ri gama gari sada gari sada gari sada gari sada ri sada gari sada gari sada sada gari sada gari sari gama dasa dasa dama gari sari gasa dasa ri gama dama dasa dasa ri gama dama dasa dasa ri gama dama dasa ri sa.
You see, I said there was math in Bharatanatyam. See all that, the complexity of the footwork and then coordinating that with the hands and the eyes. In the Natya Shastra, there are 13 positions of the head listed, 36 of the eyes, 9 of the neck, 37 of the hand. So you see how intricate it is. So the next piece is a varnam, which is like the coup de grace of a dancer's repertoire. It involves so much. It involves incredibly complex rhythm, and it involves lots of storytelling, and you have to alternate back and forth between the two. So you have to keep in your mind, you have to keep going back and forth. So, and this varnam is really, really amazing. So I'm going to tell you the story about it in just a bit. So first, Ishani would like some friends and family to come up and just talk about her. So I will call Ryan and Vidhi first, Ishani's friends.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ryan,
And I'm Betty.
and we are so excited to be able to celebrate this with you all tonight for Ishani.
Ishani has been passionate about dance her entire life. She started Bharatanatyam at the age of 5. She began her journey under the guidance of Srimati Guru Vanvali Veeravali in Chicago. From the ages of 10 to 16, she was under the instruction of Srimati Guru Sasmita Arunkaran, and also in Chicago. From then, she learned the Kalakshetra style of Bharatanatyam. Ishani continued this form of dance in St. Louis with Srimati Guru Asha Prem for the past 2 years.
Along with dance, Ishani has accomplished many great things over the past 18 years of her life. She's passionate about many hobbies, including running, baking, and crocheting. She's participated in sports as well, including basketball, track and field, and of course, dance. She just graduated cum laude just this May from Wabanzi Valley High School with distinguished awards of the IP Scholar Award. Ishani intends to pursue a career in medicine at the University of South Florida this fall. Thank you very much.
Now I would like to call up a good friend of Ishani's family, Padma Madi Reddy. Is she here? I can't see. Oh, there she is. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank Arundhati and Venkat for asking me to speak tonight. I wanted to take a few moments to talk about Ishani. Ever since she was a little girl, it has been clear to see that Ishani is quite precious. She has always been intelligent, witty, and so friendly to everyone. Truly a glimmering star. It is so wonderful that we all are gathered tonight to watch her shine bright on stage. Her consistent hard work, determination, and natural ability is very evident. From the detail in her expressions, the perfection in her hand gestures, and the confidence in her footwork. Ishani has obviously earned the right to perform an Arangettam. She has mastered a very honorable art form of Bharatanatyam. Moreover, she will have proven by the end of the night that she is capable of accomplishing anything she sets her mind to. With the support of her loving parents, Arundhati and Venkat, and grandparents, her natural gifts, I have no doubt that Ishani will continue to be a wonderful, brilliant young woman. It has been a privilege to watch her perform. Thank you.
So earlier I said that, that Bharatanatyam is considered a fifth Veda. So one reason for this is because the original 4 Vedas were usually restricted in the old days to males and to the elites. So the idea behind the Natya Shastra, Natya Veda, is to make it available for everyone. So it doesn't matter if you are a little child, if you're poor, if you're rich. The heart of dance is very, very, very generous, and it's meant for everyone. And another beautiful aspect of dance is if you hear the stories, old stories of the Hindu myths, whether it's Shiva, Parvati, or Krishna, of course you can imagine them, you can read them in the book, you may have to get the book translated, you know. You may have to look up terms and ideas. But the beauty of dance is that it integrates all these different aspects of the stories in the vehicle of dance, you know, because you show the rhythm, the dynamism of the characters, whether it's Krishna or Krishna, the great hero of the great philosopher of the Mahabharata and the great warrior. I'll talk about him later. But, you know, whether it's Krishna or his many wives or Shiva. Shiva is the god of dance in Hinduism, and the statue in the corner over there is of Nataraja, an aspect of Shiva, the king of dance. Nataraja is king of dance. So with dance, when you see stories of these characters, they come alive in that moment because the dancer is putting her heart and soul into bringing them alive. So that's another beauty about dance. So, for example, earlier when Ishani danced about Ganesha, when she was outlining his, his character, his body, it's bringing Ganesha there onto the stage in a way that's much more alive than, reading about him in a text. So that's a real beauty about dance. And as I mentioned, she's going to do a Varnam now. So the Varnam is very complex, and this one is really quite amazing. It's about the many aspects of Devi, the goddess. So in Hinduism is a very diverse religion. There are many, many strains of thought, of belief. And among them is the Shaktism. Shakti means strength, it's force, it's power, and is associated with the feminine in Hinduism. So in the theology of Shakti, there are many, many aspects of the goddess. So if I were to ask you, hey, do you want to read a book about the theology of Devi? Some of you might say, sure, but I'm busy. Some of you might say, yeah, I'll get around to it. But in dance, you can see it all come alive. The theology of the goddess comes alive. So this particular Varnam is called Ranjani. Ranjani is the goddess who is charming, delightful. Now, she has many, many aspects. So another aspect of Ranjani is the goddess Vageshwari, the goddess who blesses one with good, beautiful speech. She's kind of ignored nowadays in the world of social media. You don't really see much beautiful speech, but Ishani is going to bring her alive. And you will also see Simhavahini, the goddess. You'll see Ishani do this, the goddess who rides a lion, also known as Durga Devi, Simhavahini. The goddess Tripura Sundari. She is the beautiful goddess, gorgeous goddess, and the goddess of the three worlds, heaven, the earth, the netherworld, Tripura Sundari. She's eternally young, this goddess. And she also rules our three states of mind, for all of those of you who have done yoga or philosophy, the idea of waking consciousness, dreaming consciousness, and consciousness that's dreamless, the deepest state of consciousness, Tripura Sundari. And Ishani describes the goddesses as the embodiment of Om, the symbol, here, the great Hindu symbol that you see everywhere in Hinduism. It means the sound of creation of the universe. That's Om. So the goddess embodies Om. Another phrase you hear in the dance is Shakti, Shakti Swarupini. Shakti, the strength, the power of Devi, and how beautiful and wondrous is her form, Shakti Swarupini. So she is the goddess for all and of all. And another aspect of her, which is the most important one for this dance, I've saved the best for last, is Mahishasura Mardini. So this is the goddess who defeats the demon who comes in the shape of a buffalo. So the story goes that, in Hinduism, there's a constant battle between the good and the evil, the asura and sura. There's constant battles between the gods and the demons. So one day, this particular demon, very wily man, shall we say, he goes to Brahma. Brahma is the creator deity of Hinduism, and it's portrayed like this. He goes to Brahma and he prays for years, for decades. He does penance for decades. He says, I want to, he's praying and praying and praying, focusing on Brahma, because he wants to ask him for a boon, a particular boon. Finally, after centuries, Brahma appears and says, yes, what do you want? And Mahisha says, I want to be immortal. And Brahma says, I know you prayed for 100 years, but sorry, you can't have that. So Mahisha is like, well, what do I do now? He says, well, in that case, let me not be able to be defeated by neither men nor gods. So Brahma thinks about it. He's like, okay, all right. So Mahisha thinks, well, what a fool Brahma is, because if I can't be defeated by men or gods, I'm immortal. Because come on, women, he doesn't even think about asking about a woman who can defeat him, because it's so beyond his realm of imagination. So with this boon, he goes and terrorizes the world. So there are lots of demon kings in human history. I think that's why there's so many in the mythology as well. So he terrorizes the world, he takes over, and then the gods get really, really worried. And then they realize, wait a minute, he's asked for a protection against gods and men, but what about a woman? Gosh, this idea has never occurred to them before. A woman, yeah. So what do? Shiva, Brahma, and Vishnu each give a part of their energy to create this Devi, Durga Devi, Mahishaswara Mardini. Now, it's important to realize that I was talking about Shaktism and the power. So these male deities did not create her. She's already in them because she's the source and the root of everything. They merely revealed her and brought her out into the world. And then the gods give them a little bit of their power to create her, in addition to her own power. So you'll see in the dance, Ishani will describe Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. I forget exactly how she describes Shiva, the exact movement. There's so many ways you can show Shiva. But Shiva, and they all give a portion of the energy, and here comes Mahishaswara Mardini. So when the demon sees this incredibly beautiful, powerful female being, the first thing he does is he thinks, well, I want to marry her. So he goes to her. He's so full of himself, right? So he goes to her and asks him, will you marry me? And what do you think her response is? She rejects him coolly. Well, then he's infuriated. And so the battle begins. And so Mahisha, first, he and his army fight against Devi and her army. And at one point, Mahisha's general is killed, and all these people are killed. So it's just him and Devi. And Devi seeks to cut off his head, but he turns into a buffalo. So he is the shape-shifting asura. In the world's mythologies, there are a lot of shape-shifters. So he's a shape-shifting asura. So he's a buffalo, and he's kicking back his hooves and everything. And then she cuts him off with a sword, let's say, sharp sword. She cuts off his head. Well, he evades her and turns into a lion at the last second. So he's a lion. Also, you can show a lion like this. And so he's battling her. And then she's infuriated, and then she takes a noose, and she's whipping up the noose to try to, take the lion, to just grab it to her. And then he slips out of the noose and he becomes a man. Well, she just, another weapon, some sort of amazing weapon she uses. I've used a noose, I've used a sword, her trident. This is the trident. So she tries to kill the man. And then he evades her again and becomes an elephant, a fearsome elephant. And then she takes another weapon and tries to slice off its trunk. So he keeps evading her by shifting into these different forms. And she's getting angrier and angrier and angrier. And the battle is going on and on. And then finally, she knows what to do. Let's get rid of these weapons. I will take care of it myself. And while he's a buffalo, she leaps upon him. She jumps on his neck. And he tries to shift forms again and come out as a human. but it's too late and she kills him. You're going to see Ishani jump with massive power, and that's her as Devi defeating this demon. And if you see sculptures of this in South India, there are many sculptures of Devi fighting the demon. Also in paintings, paintings of North India as well. You see like Mahisha, half of him is coming out of the demon. It's like he's in the middle of shifting, but she takes care of him. So then you're going to hear the first few verses of a very, very famous shloka, first few lines of a very famous shloka, which I'm sure you know, almost all of you will know, Aigiri Nandini, which is just a very mesmerizing shloka. And it means victory to the daughter of the mountain. So when she's in this pose, holding the trident, you'll hear it, Aigiri Nandini, the first 4 lines. So she kills the demon. And this dance is incredibly dynamic. In addition to all of these forms, I mentioned the Om, I mentioned her. Just want to make sure I take care of everything. Yeah, I think, you're going to hear some fascinating percussion in this piece. Really interesting percussion. And when she turns around, she's shifting characters. So this dance is going to be something to watch. And it's interesting, in Hinduism, there's so many paradoxes. While Devi does represent the world, you also have Shiva representing the world. Now Shiva and Devi are one. They are Shiva Shakti, right? They are one. And there's a wonderful story about, which illustrates how, even though they are one, they do have their differences. And it goes like this. I'll tell you the story. So one day, Shiva is meditating. He's in deep meditation. Eons pass and he's meditating. And Parvati comes next to him. And with her intuition, she sees a woman in his imagination. And she says, he told me that he would never even think of another woman. What is he doing? And she goes closer. She tries her best to figure out, who is this woman Shiva is thinking about while he's meditating? Down. He doesn't say anything. Well, first he asks her, he wants to ask her, where have you gone? Or, why have you left me? But she's meditating, so he doesn't. So he says, I'm just going to join her in meditation. So he sits down and he meditates. And then Parvati knows he's there, right? So she's distracted. And again, she sees this woman in his imagination. And she's, this beautiful woman is dancing and is strong and lovely and all of this. And finally, she can't take it anymore. And she just breaks open Shiva's meditation. She's like, Shiva, who are you thinking of? You promised me when we got married that you would never think of another woman. And Shiva has a slight smile on his lips, And then Nandi comes, the faithful attendant Nandi comes and says, Parvati Devi, my goddess, the woman Shiva is thinking about is how he envisions you, much more beautiful, much stronger, much more dynamic than you see yourself. So this story, I love it because it illustrates the love between Shiva and Parvati. How close are they? They are as close as a word and its meaning. So even though like we have a dance about Shakti, and she is all-powerful, but at the same, she is one with Shiva. So these stories are amazing in describing their relationship. He's the loving householder. He's also the ascetic. He's the great dancer, but he can remain still for centuries. And another aspect of Devi, or how much Shiva loves her, is illustrated in this story. So, in the beginning, among the first incarnations of Devi was a woman named Sati. Sati means she who is. So Shiva and Sati married, and it was a wonderful marriage, and there was one flaw in it, is that Sati's father didn't care for Shiva, because in Hindu mythology, Shiva is not some handsome prince. He's an outcast. He lives outside of normal society. My goodness, his followers are ghouls and ghosts. And he wears a tiger skin, and he's coated with ash. I mean, why would any father-in-law be happy that your daughter's marrying this guy? He looks like he could be riding a motorcycle somewhere all tattooed. So he's not very happy. But Shiva marries Sati. Then one day, Sati's father holds a great yajna, a great sacrifice. And in this yajna, he invites people from all over India, all over. And Shiva and his wife Sati are sitting in the Himalayas, and they see all these people are heading towards this yajna. So Sati asks, what's going on? They're all going to my father's place. Why don't I know about it? And then and Shiva knows what's going on, but he tells her, well, if you want to go find out, go ahead. So Sati, elegant, and she goes. She goes to to her father's yajna. And she sees lots of priests. They're chanting all the Vedic verses. The fire is going. It's like, Father, why didn't you invite me? I'm your daughter. And he just kind of looks down upon her. He says, well, look at who you married. I just didn't want you here. Well, she's infuriated. And she says, I am ashamed to have you as my father. I swear that I will take my own life, and in the next life, I'm going to be born to a father who I'm proud of. And with her Shakti, the power, the divine power, she immolates herself. She burns herself to death. And everyone is horrified. Now, when Shiva hears this, he's infuriated. His dearest, most beloved Shakti is gone. So he takes his hordes, his demons and, not demons, but ghouls and the ghosts and all his sort of, naked hordes, and they go off because he's going to fight Sati's father. And he gets to the yajna, and he's so angry when he really sees, what has happened. He tears off his own hair, and he tears it apart, and the two demons leap out of it. And they just set the yajna on fire. They battle everyone there. And then Shiva actually cuts off Sati's father's head. But then he feels so remorseful about it that he takes a goat. He finds a goat and places the goat's head on Sati's father. So he's always, so people he's humiliated, let's say. So that's done, but he is just distraught over Sati. So he picks up her body. I know I said she burnt herself earlier, but he picks up her body, and he's going around India. He's howling in pain as he carries his dead wife across India. Pieces of her jewelry fall in different villages, or pieces of her body fall. That's why the entire Indian subcontinent is associated with Devi, with the goddess. So that again shows the closeness of Shiva and Shakti. So you will see the power of Shakti in this dance, and I believe Ishani, is she ready? I think she may need a couple more minutes. She's changing costume. So in the meantime, I'm going to tell you about our company. So Dances of India in St. Louis is run by my mom, and she and my dad started in the 1970s. My dad was a research scientist, but he loved dance and music, Western and Eastern both. So I grew up listening to classical music. I grew up I listened to Strauss and Mozart, and along with Ganesha stutis and padams at home. So I grew up with a lot of music. And they started a company in 1976 called Dances of India. So, and the reason they named it Dances of India, many people wonder why not give it a Sanskrit name. Well, you have to remember in the 70s in St. Louis, there was a small Indian population, very, very small. So they named it Dances of India. And the funny thing is, it turns out it's a great search term. It's a great SEO term. If you Google Dances of India in St. Louis, we come up. And we just started dancing. My mom, because, well, what happened is my dad saw her dance one day. The India Association of St. Louis at that time, which was run by like 5 bachelors, right? They put on a show, and my dad saw my mom dance, and he thought, she's got talent. So they started the company, and they had a few students at first. And her first student is a woman named Tekla, an American woman married to an Indian. And she's still with the company, and she and I create our productions now. So I love to take Hindu myths and give them new spins and make them a little contemporary for general audiences. So for example, 2 years ago, we did a production called The 7 Sisters, which is about the Hindu myth behind the creation of the Pleiades star system. So I haven't met anyone yet who knows the story. It's a fantastic story. So it has to do with Agni, god of fire. And it's how the Pleiades was created. So I did that we like to focus on little-known characters in the Hindu epics. So for example, a couple of years ago, we did a production called The Tale of Urmila, the Sleeping Princess. I wonder how many people know of Urmila here, how important she was. In the Hindu epic, the Ramayana, we have Rama, Prince Rama, his wife Sita, who go off into the forest, right, with their brother Lakshmana. Well, many people don't know, and I didn't know, that Rama's wife Sita has a sister named Urmila. Urmila is married to Rama's brother Lakshmana. So Lakshmana decides to go off into the let's back up. Rama and Sita are exiled into the forest, and it's unfair, right? It's unjust. So Lakshmana decides to accompany Rama because he says, I want to accompany you because there are going to be demons in the forest, and I have to watch over you. So they say, okay. And then Lakshmana's wife Urmila says, I'm going to come too. And Lakshmana says, no, because you can't, because I have to be awake 24/7 to watch over my brother and his wife. So Urmila is devastated, honestly, but she stays back. So the first night, they're in the forest, and Rama, Sita, they spread sheets down on the ground and sleep. Lakshmana stays awake, and he's alert. And the first visitor he has, it's not a demon, it's the goddess of sleep. And she tells him, Lakshmana, you cannot refuse to sleep for 14 years. If you don't sleep, someone else must sleep in your stead. That's the only way nature can be balanced. And I love that. Nature has to be balanced. So Urmila, the goddess of sleep, the goddess of sleep goes to Lakshmana and says, what are you going to do? And he says, ask my wife to sleep for 14 years. So the goddess of sleep goes to Urmila and asks her, and she agrees, and she sleeps for 14 years. There's a little known story many people don't know about the Ramayana, but it's beautiful. Nature must be balanced. So I believe now that Ishani is ready for the Varnam. So As mentioned, this is a phenomenal dance. It's like reading a novel about the many aspects of Devi. So enjoy it.
शिवशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तिः भगवती न चेदेवं देवौ न खलु कुशलस्पन्दितुमपि अतस्त्वाम् आराध्य हरिहर विधीन्द्रादिभिरति प्रणम्तुं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृतपुण्यः प्रभवति रञ्जनी महिषासुरमर्दिनि त्रिशूलिनी ब्रह्माण्डपालिनी रञ्जनी महिषासुरमर्दिनि त्रिशूलिनी ब्रह्माण्डपालिनी रञ्जनी महिषासुरमर्दिनि त्रिशूलिनी ब्रह्माण्डपालिनी रञ्जनी महिषासुरमर्दिनि त्रिशूलिनी ब्रह्माण्डपालिनी
धडंकु तक धिकु तक टक टक तक तक तोंता हि किट तक तरि किट तक झुम ता क हि किट तक तरि किट तक झुम ता धि ना झुम ता क धि ना झुम हि ना na tum ta dim gi na tum ta dim gi na tum ta dim gi na tum ta dhi kitta takka tarri kitta takka jum rakka dhi kitta takka tarri kitta takka jum ta din na jum takka din na jum gi na tum ta dim gi na tum ta dim gi na tum ta dim gi na tum ta dhi kita taka tadi kita taka jum taka dhi kita taka tadi kita taka jum ta din na jum taka din na jum gi na to ta dim gi na tum ta dim gi na tum ta dim gi na to taka dhi kita taka tadi kita taka jum jona taka dhi kita taka tadi kita taka jum ta din na jum taka din na jum gi na to ta dim gi na tum ta dim gi na tum ta
महिषासुरमर्दिनि त्रिशूलिनि ब्रह्माण्डपालिनि रञ्जनि महिषासुरमर्दिनि त्रिशूलिनि ब्रह्माण्डपालिनि रञ्जनि महिषासुरमर्दिनि त्रिशूलिनि महिषासुरमर्दिनि 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 महिषासुरमर्दिनि
taka dinna ta ta di taka dinna ta ta di taka dum ta di taka dum ta
ಓಂಕಾರಕಾರಿಣಿ ಭವಾನಿ ನವರಸಾದಿ ಚಿತ್ಕಲಾ ಸ್ವರೂಪಿಣಿ ಓಂಕಾರಕಾರಿಣಿ ಭವಾನಿ ನವರಸಾದಿ ಚಿತ್ಕಲಾ ಸ್ವರೂಪಿಣಿ ಓಂಕಾರಕಾರಿಣಿ ಭವಾನಿ ನವರಸಾದಿ ಚಿತ್ಕಲಾ ಸ್ವರೂಪಿಣಿ ನವರಸ ಶೃಂಗಾರ ಶೃಂಗಾರ ವೀರ ಕರುಣಾ 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 ಅದ್ಭುತ ಅದ್ಭುತ ಹಾಸ್ಯ 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 ಭಯಾನಕ 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 ಭೀಭತ್ಸ್ಯ ಭೀಭತ್ಸ್ಯ ರೌದ್ರ ಶಾಂತ 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 ಓಂಕಾರಕಾರಿಣಿ ಭವಾನಿ ನವರಸಾದಿ ಚಿತ್ಕಲಾ ಸ್ವರೂಪಿಣಿ ಓಂಕಾರಕಾರಿಣಿ ಭವಾನಿ ನವರಸಾದಿ ಚಿತ್ಕಲಾ ಸ್ವರೂಪಿಣಿ ಓಂಕಾರಕಾರಿಣಿ ಭವಾನಿ ನವರಸಾದಿ ಚಿತ್ಕಲಾ ಸ್ವರೂಪಿಣಿ ಓಂಕಾರಕಾರಿಣಿ
ಧಳ್ಳಂಕು ತಕ್ಕ ದಿಕ್ಕು ತಕ್ಕಿ ಟಕ್ಕ ತಕ್ಕ ತಡಿಕಿಟ ತಕ್ಕ ಧಿನ್ನಂ ತಜಂ ತಜಂ ತಕ್ಕ ಧಿನ್ನಂ ತಕ ಜಂ ತಜಂ ಕಿಟ ತಕ ಧಿನ್ನಂ ತಕಡಂ ತಜಂ 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 ಧಿನ್ನಂ ದಿ ತಜಂ ತಕ ಧಿನ್ನಂ ತಕ ಧಿ ತಜಂ ಕಿಟ ತಕ ಧಿನ್ನಂ ಕಿಟ ತಕ ಧಿ ತಜಂ ಕಿಟ ತಕ ಧಿ ತಜಂ ಕಿಟ ತಕ ಧಿ ತಜಂ ಧಿನ್ನಂ ಧಿನ್ನಂ ಕಿಟ ತಕ ತಕ ಧಿನ್ನಂ ತಕ ಧಿನ್ನಂ ಕಿಟ ತಕ ಧಿನ್ನಂ ತಕ ಧಿನ್ನಂ ಕಿಟ ತಕ ತಕ ಧಿನ್ನಂ ತಕ ಧಿನ್ನಂ ಕಿಟ ತಕ ತ ಧಿನ್ನಂ
महिषासुरमर्दिनि त्रिशूलिनि ब्रह्माण्डपालिनि रञ्जनि सरसिजलोचनि कामितदायिनि ब्रह्म विष्णु शिव शक्ति स्वरूपिणि सरसिजलोचनि कामितदायिनि ब्रह्म विष्णु शिव शक्ति स्वरूपिणि सरसिजलोचनि कामितदायिनि ब्रह्म विष्णु शिव शक्ति स्वरूपिणि शिवप्रिय शाम्भवी सकलर पोरगे गजमुखन षण्मुखन प्रिय जननी गजमुखन षण्मुखन प्रिय जननी गजमुखन षण्मुखन प्रिय जननी रञ्जनी महिषासुरमर्दिनि त्रिशूलिनि ब्रह्माण्डपालिनि रञ्जनि महिषासुरमर्दिनि त्रिशूलिनि ब्रह्माण्डपालिनि रञ्जनि सिंहवाहिनी त्रिपुर सुन्दरी सिंहवाहिनी त्रिपुर सुन्दरी श्रीचक्रनिवासिनि सिंहवाहिनी त्रिपुर सुन्दरी
ಧಳಂ ಕುತಕ ಧಿ ಕುತಕ ಟಕ್ಕಡ ತಕ ತಕ ಚುಡುತ ತಕ ಚುಡುತಿ ತಕತ ತಕಧಿ ತ ಧಿ ತ ಧಿ ತುಂ ನಂ ತಕ ಚುಡುತಾಂ ತಕ ಚುಡುತಿ ತಕತ ತಕಧಿಂ ತ ಧಿಂ ತತ ಧಿ ಧಿ ತುಂ ತುಂ ನಂ ನಂ ತಕ ಚುಡುತ ತ ಧಿ ತುಂ ನಂ ತಕ ಚುಡುತಿ ತಕ ಧಿ ತುಂ ನಂ ತಕ ಚುಡುತಂ ತಕ ಧಿ ತುಂ ನಂ ತಕ ಚುಡುತಾಂ ತಕ ಧಿ ತುಂ ನಂ ತಕ ಚುಡುತ ತಕ ಚುಡುತಿ ತಕ ಚುಡುತಂ ತಕ ಚುಡುನಂ ತಕ ಧಿ ತಕ ತ ತಕ ಧಿ
सिंहवाहिनी त्रिपुर सुन्दरी श्रीचक्रनिवासिनि 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 सिंहवाहिनी त्रिपुर सुन्दरी सानि गमगरि गद सारि ग मद सनि द मद सारि सानि गमगरि ग द सारि ग मद सनि द मद सारि सिंहवाहिनी त्रिपुर सुन्दरी श्रीचक्रनिवासिनि सिंहवाहिनी त्रिपुर सुन्दरी सच्चिदानन्ददायिनि सर्वेशार्द स्वरूपिणि सच्चिदानन्ददायिनि सर्वेशार्द स्वरूपिणि सिंहवाहिनी त्रिपुर सुन्दरी श्रीचक्रनिवासिनि सिंहवाहिनी त्रिपुर सुन्दरी गगरि सदनि मद सनि द मगरि ग सद सरि ग मद सरि ग
Very dynamic. Yeah, okay. Is that not a dance about Shakti or what? That's a very dynamic dance. She did an amazing job. You can give her another round of applause. Amazing. So now there will be a 20-minute intermission. There are refreshments in the lobby, so please enjoy. And come back in 20 minutes. We have more for you. All right, everyone is back. I'm sure there's some people still filtering in. You know, I forgot to mention, after all the storytelling I did about the Devi dance, I mentioned every single Devi's name and the story, and I forgot to mention towards the end where she shows some different expressions. So one set of those are the Navarasa, the 9 expressions. And those are, you may have seen her while the dance is still fresh in your mind. Shringara, love. Veera, bravery. Karuna, compassion. Adbhuta, wonder. Hasya, laughter, mirth. If you recall, she was laughing like that. Bhayanka, fear. Birbhasya, this was my favorite one that she did. It was disgust. Remember, she went like this. It was just disgust. It was great. Rudra, the anger. And Shanta, peace. So those are 9 expressions that are in the Devi, are embodied by her. And there was 6 other emotions described, the Arishad Varga. These are the negative emotions that if they take you over, they can destroy you. And then by praying to Devi, to the goddess, she helps you overcome them. And these are kama, desire, krodha, anger, moha, love and attachment, lobha, greed, mada, ego, myself, and Matsara, pride. So these are the 6 emotions that she described, 6 negative states of mind that can destroy you, that can be destroyed with the help of the Devi. So I'm sure that dance is going to be in your minds for a good while longer. It was an amazing job. So now we're set for something totally different. It's completely different frame of mind, different deity. Just goes to show you how Ishani is able to show different characters with such ease and such grace in her dance. Because the next piece is about Krishna. Krishna, of course, as everyone knows, is one of the principal Hindu deities, Krishna. Krishna, who plays the flute. This dance is called Chitikeveshte, come here. So Ishani plays Radha, the village girl who's head over heels in love with Krishna. She wakes up in the morning. She sees a bird fly through the trees. She takes her pot. She goes to the river. She gets water. And she starts her day. And she sits down by the river. She's kind of preening herself, looks in a mirror. Well, I'm not bad. Checks her makeup, her earrings. And then gets up, arises, and with a swinging gait, she goes to see Krishna, her love. Well, Krishna, you know, he's supposed to have been drop-dead handsome. He's supposed to have also been a real man. He must have been amazing because women surround him. Everywhere he goes, women fall in love with him. So she goes really confident of herself, swinging along, and then she sees him there, and he's surrounded by other women. So she says, come here. And then he looks at her and says, who are you to tell me, Venugopal, the one who plays the flute, to come here? I have all these women around me. Some are playing the veena. They're dancing for me. Their earrings are shaking as they dance. Who are you to tell me to come here when I've got more than enough? Thank you very much. And so she's upset. And then she goes off. And then you'll also see a little bit of the masculine and feminine energies there. Because at one point, Ishani will show Krishna and then turn around and be Radha. Krishna, Radha. So you'll see her play both characters. And at the end of the dance, she goes off and, well, comes back, and I'll let you decide what Krishna's reaction is. Does he go to her or not? You can decide.
చిటిక వేసితే నీ వంటి చెలులు 1,10,000 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 మిటుకులాడి ఎవడను కొన్నావు వేణుగోపాలుడు నా పేరే మిటుకులాడి ఎవడను కొన్నావు వేణుగోపాలుడు నా పేరే వేణుగోపాలుడు నా పేరే వేణుగోపాలుడు నా పేరే చిటిక వేసితే నీ వంటి చెలులు 1,10,000 అందగత్తవనుచు అందగత్తవనుచు వలచినందుకే అలమి కౌగిటను చేర్చేవో అందగత్తవనుచు వలచినందుకే అలమి కౌగిటను చేర్చేవో గంధమలది పెరుగులను చుట్టి గంధమలది వెరులుగను చుట్టి కర్పూర బాగా ఇచ్చేవో గంధమలది వెరులుగను చుట్టి కర్పూర బాగా ఇచ్చేవో చిటిక వేసితే నీ వంటి చెలులు చెలులు లక్ష పదివేలే చిటిక వేసితే బంగారు కమ్మలు కదలక రాగం పాడి వీణేయ బంగారు కమ్మలు కదలక రాగం పాడి వీణేయ వాంచేవో బంగారు కమ్మలు కదలక రాగం పాడి వీణేయ వాంచేవో మందమేళమున ఏ మాట్లాడగా పొద్దున పొద్దు వచ్చేవో మందమేళమున ఏ మాట్లాడగా పొద్దున పొద్దు వచ్చేవో చిటిక వేసితే నీ వంటి చెలులు లక్ష పదివేలే మిటుకులాడి ఎవడనుకున్నావు వేణుగోపాలుడు నా పేరే చిటిక వేసితే చిటిక వేసితే చిటిక వేసితే నీ వంటి చెలులు లక్ష పదివేలే చెలులు లక్ష పదివేలే చెలులు లక్ష పదివేలే
Can't you see the flirtation between Radha and Krishna there? It just comes alive, right? So that's that love that's at least 800 years old or so, coming to life, alive right in front of us. So, and that's also a complete contrast to the Devi dance. So I think it's really cool to see both next to each other. So the next dance is another departure. This is called Dashavatara, the 10 incarnations of Vishnu. It's a piece that Ishani choreographed mostly herself, but perhaps a little help from the internet. But at Dances of India, my mom, Asha Prem, likes to have a student choreograph a dance herself. So to see how she can imagine the language, the movements, the emotions of dance. So this particular one is the Dashavatara. So it begins with God Vishnu lying on the ocean, the serpent Adisesha behind him, the serpent that protects him and is his bed. And from there she describes each incarnation Vishnu takes. So the first one is the fish, Matsya, when there's a demon who steals the Vedas and throws them in the ocean, and Vishnu comes as a fish to save them. The next one is Kurma, a tortoise, and the tortoise is used as the base upon which a mountain sits that was churned by the gods and the demons. They once churned the ocean to find the nectar of immortality. It was deep in the ocean. When you churn it, just like butter comes up when you churn milk for buttermilk, the nectar of immortality rose, and that's another fantastic story. But Vishnu, as the tortoise, supported the mountain. The third is Varaha, the boar. So one day, another demon captures the earth, the whole earth, and just tosses her in the cosmic ocean, cosmic soup. And so Vishnu comes as a boar, Varaha, to raise the earth from the ocean. The fourth is probably my favorite, Narasimha, and it's half lion, half man. So once there's a king who has a boon of immortality, he can be killed by neither man nor beast, neither at night nor day, neither at inside nor outside. And Vishnu appears as Narasimha, the half man, half lion, who takes the evil king onto the veranda, the porch of the palace, neither inside nor outside. And he takes him there at twilight, neither night nor day. And then he kills him. Then neither man nor beast kills him. The fifth one is Vamana Avatara, the little Brahmin dwarf who teaches a king a lesson. He asks the king, the king says, I'll give you anything you desire. And the Brahmin says, I just want what I can have in 3 steps. And the king's like, well, okay, if that's all you want. And then Vamana takes 1 step, but it's really big, and he covers the heavens. He takes another step, and it covers the netherworld and the earth. And he says, I've taken all these steps. Where do I put my 3rd step? And then the king puts down his head, and Vamana puts his foot upon the king's head. So that's Vamana Avatar. 6th is Parashurama, the angry warrior. 7 is Rama, Prince Rama of the Ramayana, whom I mentioned earlier, who goes into exile and is the subject of one of the great Indian epics. And Dasharatha's son, you'll hear that in the music. And then we have Balarama, Krishna's brother, and then who wields a scythe as he plows. And then we have Krishna, of course, the one who plays the flute, the great philosopher and warrior. And number 10 is Kalki, Vishnu, who will come and upon a horse to destroy the evildoers, the Shavatara.
பார்க்கடல் அலை மேலே பாம்பனையின் மேலே பள்ளி கொண்டாய் ரங்கநாதா. பார்க்கடல் அலை மேலே பாம்பனையின் மேலே பள்ளி கொண்டாய் ரங்கநாதா. குந்தன் பதமலர் நிழல் தேடி பரவசமோடு பாடி கதி பெறவே ஞானம் நீதா தேவா. பார்க்கடல் அலை மேலே பாம்பனையின் மேலே பள்ளி கொண்டாய் ரங்கநாதா. உந்தன் பதமலர் நிழல் தேடி பரவசமோடு பாடி கதி பெறவே ஞானம் நீதா தேவா. பார்க்கடல் அலை மேலே பாம்பனையின் மேலே பள்ளி கொண்டாய் ரங்கநாதா. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. காதகனான ஒரு சோமுகன் கை கொண்டு கடலிடையே ஒளித்த மறைநாளும். காதகனான ஒரு சோமுகன் கை கொண்டு கடலிடையே ஒளித்த மறைநாளும். பின்னும் மேதினி மேல் நீள பாதகன் தான் மாள மீனவதாரம் கொண்ட திருமாலே. மீனவதாரம் கொண்ட திருமாலே. மீனவதாரம் கொண்ட திருமாலே. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. வானவரும் தானவரும் ஆழியமுதம் கடைந்த மந்தரகிரி தன்னை தாங்கிடவே ஒரு உன்னுடைய ஓடு கொண்ட கூர்மாவதாரனென கோலமுற்றாய் புகழும் ஓங்கிடவே. வானவரும் தானவரும் ஆழியமுதம் கடைந்த மந்தரகிரி தன்னை தாங்கிடவே ஒரு உன்னுடைய ஓடு கொண்ட கூர்மாவதாரனென கோலமுற்றாய் புகழும் ஓங்கிடவே. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. இனம் இரண்யாக்ஷனும் படுபாவி. இனம் இரண்யாக்ஷனும் படுபாவி. பாயாய் எழு கடலுள் மறைத்த பூதேவி அவள் தினரக்ஷகா சகல ஜீவரக்ஷகா. தினரக்ஷகா சகல ஜீவரக்ஷகா எனவே மாநிலத்தை தூக்கிய வராக வடிவானவனே. மாநிலத்தை தூக்கிய வராக வடிவானவனே. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. எங்கிருக்கிறான் எங்கிருக்கிறான் அவன் எங்கிருக்கிறான் ஹரி எங்கிருக்கிறான் சொல்லடா எங்கிருக்கிறான் என்ற இரண்யன் சொல்லை இடைமறித்தே அவன் பிள்ளை ஹரி எங்கும் இருப்பான் தூணில் இங்கும் இருப்பான் எங்கும் இருப்பான் தூணில் இங்கும் இருப்பான் என இயம்பியதால் நேர்ந்த தொல்லை நீங்கவும் பொங்கு சின வம்பனது பூதவுடலும் தசை தின்றெழுந்த தொந்தியோடு மணிக்குடலும் உதிரம் சிந்தவே நகம் கொண்டு கீரும் நரசிங்கமான அவதாரனே சங்க சக்கரதாரனே உபகாரனே ஆதாரனே ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. மூவடி மண் கேட்டு வந்து மண்ணளந்து விண்ணளந்து மாவலி சிரம் அளந்த வாமனனே மூவடி மண் கேட்டு வந்து மண்ணளந்து விண்ணளந்து மாவலி சிரம் அளந்த வாமனனே ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. தந்தை ஆவியை பறித்ததனால் சூரிய குலவைரியன ஆவியை பறித்ததனால் சூரிய குலவைரியன அமைந்த பரசுராமன் ஆனவனே அமைந்த பரசுராமன் ஆனவனே ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. தேவர்களை சிறை மீட்ட ராவணாதி உயிர் மாய்த்த தேவர்களை சிறை மீட்ட ராவணாதி உயிர் மாய்த்த தசரத ஸ்ரீராம அவதாரனே தசரத ஸ்ரீராம அவதாரனே ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. உலகிலே உழவோர் புகழும் கலப்பை தன்னை 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 புயம் தனில் தாங்கி நின்ற பலராமனே புயம் தனில் தாங்கி நின்ற பலராமனே ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. பானி சகரி சனி சானி தனி பமனி பகரி சரி மகரி மபனி தம பனி சாரி மகரி சா பானி சகரி சனி சானி தனி பமனி பகரி சரி மகரி மபனி தம பனி சாரி மகரி சா பனி சரி க பமா ni மகரி சா கரி ni சகரி ni பத மத மப சப மகரி சரி மபனி சா. ஆவணி ரோகிணியில் அஷ்டமியிலே அர்த்தஜாம நேரத்திலே அவதரித்தோனே ஆவணி ரோகிணியில் அஷ்டமியிலே அர்த்தஜாம நேரத்திலே அவதரித்தோனே ஆயர்பாடி மேவிய யசோதை நந்தலால 10,000 கோபியர் பரமானந்தலோல ஆயர்பாடி மேவிய யசோதை நந்தலால 10,000 கோபியர் பரமானந்தலோல பூபாரம் தீர்க்க பாரத போர் முடித்த சீலா 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 கோபால கிருஷ்ணனான ஆதிமூல பரிபாலாவணி ரோகிணி அஷ்டமியிலே அர்த்தஜாம நேரத்திலே அவதரித்தோனே ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. பஞ்சபாதகம் வாதுடன் கொடிய வஞ்சகம் மித்ரபேதகம் பஞ்சபாதகம் வாதுடன் கொடிய வஞ்சகம் மித்ரபேதகம் செயகஞ்சிடாதவர் ஆடும் நாடக மேடையாகிய கடையுகம் அழிக்கவே தர்மம் தழைக்கவே அழிக்கவே தர்மம் தழைக்கவே அழிக்கவே தர்மம் தழைக்கவே அழிக்கவே தர்மம் தழைக்கவே அன்பு கொண்ட கலியவதாரன் சிங்காரன் தசாவதாரன் நீயே பார்க்கடல் அலை மேலே பாம்பனையின் மேலே பள்ளி கொண்டாய் ரங்கநாதா முந்தன் பதமலர் நிழல் தேடி பரவசமோடு பாடி கதி பெறவே ஞானம் நீதா தேவா பார்க்கடல் அலை மேலே பாம்பனையின் மேலே பள்ளி கொண்டாய் ரங்கநாதா பள்ளி கொண்டாய் ரங்கநாதா பள்ளி கொண்டாய் ரங்கநாதா ஓம் நமோ
So perhaps now you can see why the Devadasis were so revered in ancient India, why they were considered high priestesses. The word Sumangali means an auspiciously married woman, but the Devadasi was considered a Nitya Sumangali, eternally auspicious, because she is married to the god. She's on a higher plane, she's in a higher realm of existence. And so that's why even the great kings would want a Devadasi to sanctify their land, their temple, their palace. So they would carry a parasol in the procession, and there were different kinds of Devadasis. The Raja Devadasis would be in the procession, in the king's procession, holding a particular staff, and so it's fascinating, the life of that time. So. Before we begin the next dance, Ishani and her family wanted to share a couple of videos with you. The first one is a little video of her cousin. So I'll ask for that to be brought down.
Hi Ishani, I hope your Arangettam goes really well. I wish I was there to see you. And I just want to say good luck for college. We're all very proud of you.
And there are a couple more of her great uncle and great aunt talking about her, how proud they are of her, talking about her life, about how both her mother and her father have sacrificed so much for her, but also for their own families.
June lo Hyderabad ki vachinappudu Anant uncle ma gurinchi meeku telisindi akshara roopam cheyandi nenu అక్కడ ఇషానీ ఫంక్షన్లో చదువుతారు అన్నది నా పైన ఉన్న అభిమానంతో మా చిరంజీవి ఇషానీ సాధించిన ఫలితానికి సంతోషంతో తల్లిదండ్రులు జరుపుకుంటున్న సందడికి ఆశీర్వదించడానికి వచ్చిన బంధుమిత్రులకు స్వాగతం. మాటలు గాలికి పోతాయి, అక్షరము శాశ్వతం. భాషలో అందం ఉండకపోవచ్చు, భావములో స్పష్టత లేకపోవచ్చు, మనసులో ప్రేమ మాత్రం తెలుస్తుంది. మేము నిన్ను ఎందుకు ఆదరిస్తామో తెలుస్తుంది. నేను బయటవాడిని. నేను మీ మధ్యలో వచ్చిన నాటికి నీవు 5 సంవత్సరాల పుత్తడి బొమ్మవు. వసంత సుగుణ చిన్నమ్మలకు ఎన్నో జ్ఞాపకాలు ఉన్నాయి. మీ అక్క చెల్లెళ్ళతో తమ్ముళ్ళతో మా కుమారుడు సతీష్తో గడిపిన రోజులు ఎప్పుడు జ్ఞాపకం వస్తూ ఉంటాయి. ఎందుకంటే మీరంతా అమ్మమ్మ ఇంట్లో వస్తూ పోతూ ఉండడం, మీ నాన్న అమ్మ వసంత మనమంతా మలక్పేటలో ఉండడం వల్ల కలిసిమెలిసి ఉండేవాళ్ళం. ప్రతి పండుగ, ప్రతి జన్మదినము పెద్దవాళ్ళతో కలిసి చేసుకునేవాళ్ళం. అవన్నీ జ్ఞాపకం వస్తూ ఉన్నాయి. అందరము తాత, అమ్మమ్మ, నాన్నలతో, మామయ్యలు, చిన్నమ్మలు, చిన్నాయనలు, అక్క తమ్ముళ్ళతో అంతా సరదాగా తిరిగేవాళ్ళం. చదువులు సాగించారు. బాల్యం అలా గడిచిపోయింది. కాలచక్రము ఆగదు. వయసు పెరిగిపోతుంది. మీరు పెద్దవాళ్ళు అయ్యారు, పెద్ద చదువులు చదువుకున్నారు, యుఎస్ఏ వెళ్ళిపోయారు, కుటుంబీకులు అయ్యారు. ఇప్పుడు మీరు పెద్దవాళ్ళు అయ్యారు, మేము వృద్ధులము అయ్యాము. ఈ మధ్యలో ఎన్నో అనుభవాలతో, ఎన్నో జ్ఞాపకాలతో, ఎన్నో పోరాటాలతో, ఎన్నో ఆరాటాలతో సాధించాము దేవుని కృపతో. అందరం బాగుండాలి, అందులో మనం ఉండాలి అనుకున్నాము. మంచి వాళ్ళం కనుక దేవుడు మనకు మంచి చేశాడు. దేవునికి కృతజ్ఞతలు. ప్రేమతో మీ చిన్నమ్మ వసంత, చిన్నాయన అనంత్. అదొకటి. ఇంకోటి ఉన్నది. నీ గురించి ఏం చెప్పాలి అరుంధతి? నీ 5 సంవత్సరాల వయసు నుంచి చూశాను, గమనించాను. సతీష్తో, మాతో, చిన్నమ్మలతో, మామయ్యల భయంతో ఎంతో ప్రేమగా, బాధ్యతగా ఉండేదానివి. ఎంత వ్యవహారకర్తవో అంత తెలివి, జ్ఞానము, ధైర్యం కలదాను. ఇలా ఉండాలి నేటి ఆడపిల్ల అనిపించాలి. యవ్వనంలో నీది ఒంటరి పోరాటం పెళ్ళి అయ్యేంతవరకు. నీ పెళ్ళి పెద్దలను ఒప్పించి చేసుకున్నది కాదు, పెద్దలను ఎదిరించి చేసుకున్న దాంపత్యం నీది. చిరంజీవి, లక్ష్మీ సరస్వతి, అరుంధతి, శ్రీ వెంకటరమణ ప్రేమ వివాహము ఒక ప్రేమ ఘట్టం. నీవు సాధించావు, పెద్దలను మెప్పించావు, నీవు ఏమిటో చూపించావు. అందుకే మీ ఇద్దరికి హృదయపూర్వక అభినందనలు. మీ దాంపత్యము ఒక అనురాగ సంగమం, ఆనంద సంగమం, పాలు తేనె కలిసి మెలిసే జారువారు సంగమం. నింగి నేల ఏకమై సంగమంలో ఒక మొలిచింది ఒక వృక్షరాజం, ఒక పుష్పరాగం. చిరంజీవి ఇషాని మీ వర్తమానానికి నాంది అయి, మీ భవిష్యత్తుకు ఆశాజ్యోతి అయి, మీ చిరంజీవి మామూలు ఆడబిడ్డ కాదు సుమా. అందంగా, సువాసనతరంగా, లక్ష్మీదేవి కళతో, పార్వతీదేవి నాట్య కళతో, సరస్వతి జ్ఞానంతో, వైద్య విద్యలో సీటు సంపాదించడంలో మేమంతా గర్వపడుతున్నాము. తల్లిదండ్రుల శ్రమతో, పెద్దల ఆశీర్వాదాలతో దయగల వైద్యురాలివై, దయా, దానము, సత్యము గుణాలతో ముందుకు పోవాలని, దేవుడు సహకరించాలని మేమంతా ఆశీర్వదిస్తున్నాము. మిమ్మల్ని, నీ బిడ్డను మనసారా ప్రేమతో. అరుంధతి రమణ మా విషయానికి వస్తే ఏమి చెప్పాలి, ఏమని వ్రాయం? మీ పెళ్ళైన తర్వాత సతీష్తో చనువు ఎక్కువగా ఉండేది. రమణ ముందే తెలుసు కాబట్టి బావా అని మీ చుట్టూ తిరిగేవాడు. ఇక్కడ ఉన్నప్పుడు వాడు మీలో కలిసిపోయాడు. మీరంతా యుఎస్ఏ వెళ్తున్నారని, వాడు కూడా యుఎస్ఏ చదువుకోవాలని పూర్తిగా మీ ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ వల్ల వచ్చింది. వాడికి 20 సంవత్సరాల వయసులో. రమణ యుఎస్ఏ వెళ్తుంటే జనవరి 24, 1992లో సతీష్ మీ వెంట తీసుకెళ్ళాడు. కొన్ని రోజులు సుదర్శన్ ఇంట్లో ఉండి తర్వాత అట్లాంటా ఉంచుకొని హంట్స్విల్ కాలేజీలో అడ్మిషన్ జాయిన్ చేయించి అక్కడ ఉన్న నీ ఫ్రెండ్స్తో కలిసి వీడు మనవాడు, అందరూ సహాయం చేయాలని చెప్పి అనుకోకుండా వాళ్ళందరూ మా పొరుగు గ్రామం మాందాపురం వాసులు. మాకు బంధుత్వం కావడం కలిసి వచ్చింది. వారి సహకారంతో సతీష్ కాలేజీ అయిపోయింది మాందాపురం. దీనికి అరుంధతి ఎంతో చేసింది అని వసంత చెప్తూ ఉంటుంది. అదే వాడికి నాంది అయింది. తర్వాత వాడు అల్లుకుపోయాడు బంధుమిత్రులతో. మాకేమాత్రం కష్టం కలగకుండా మీరు ఉన్నారని ధైర్యంతో మేము ఉన్నాము. ఇంత సహాయం చేసిన దంపతులకు కృతజ్ఞతలు. చెప్పకపోవడం భావ్యం కాదు. ఈ సందర్భంలో డాలీ రమణ
సరిగ్గా చదువుతలేరు మంచిగా చదువు
ఇంత సహాయం చేసిన దంపతులకు కృతజ్ఞతలు చెప్పకపోవడం భావ్యం కాదు. ఈ సందర్భంలో డాలీ రమణ దూరంగా ఉండి మీ క్షేమం కోరే వాళ్ళమే కానీ మీతో ఉండేవాళ్ళం కాదుగా. మీరు సుఖంగా సంతోషంగా ఆనందంగా ఉండటమే మాకు నెమ్మది. ప్రేమతో చిన్ననాటి మలినాటి జ్ఞాపకాలతో ఆశీర్వదిస్తున్నాము. మీ చిన్నమ్మ, మీ చిన్నాన్న, మీ అత్తమ్మ, మీ మామ వసంత అనంత్.
రమణకు అత్తమ్మ మామ.
Yeah. Good.
Now, I'd like to call up Ishani's friends, Aiden and Betsy, to speak.
Good evening, everyone. Our names are Betsy and...
I'm Aiden.
So Ishani and I met during 2nd grade in Mrs. Holler's class. It was Fun Friday, and we both bonded over having parents who were both named Arun. Somehow that sparked a lifelong friendship that to this day is as strong as it was back then. Ishani is adventurous, funny, and lively. I've never been bored being around her. I remember when we both shared a fear of talking Angela in 3rd grade, created a board game in 5th grade, almost started a shared self-care Instagram page in 7th, and visited Peterson Open House during our senior year, and many more. Somehow, every time I hung out with Ishani, it felt no different from before. Her energy never faded. Despite not going to the same middle school or high school, we remained very close friends. Congratulations, Ishani, and I wish you the best in college. I know that distance will only make us closer, and I can't wait to hear about your stories in Florida.
When I first met Ishani in 2nd grade in Mrs. Holler's class, I knew we'd become friends from that moment on. Even though we went to different middle schools and high schools, we picked up our conversations like we never lost touch. Ishani has always been a friend I can talk to when I need help or support. She is kind, generous, and thoughtful of others. I'm glad I've gotten to know her more and more throughout senior year. It was always so much fun getting iced coffee before long studies at the library, spending time working out at the gym, and watching the Barbie movie. Congratulations, Ishani, and wish you the best of where you're heading.
Best of luck,
Best of
Ishani,
luck.
at USF.
Best of luck at USF.
It's great how so many people want to come up here and speak about Ishani. So we'll have more in just a bit. She is changing costume for her next dance. So the next dance is about Shiva, Nataraja, the statue over there. And I know you can't see it really well, but I'll just describe it anyway. So Shiva, I adore the statue of Shiva as Nataraja. He's surrounded by a ring of fire. It's energy. It's that nonstop energy of the universe. Virtual particles coming in and out of existence. In his right hand, he holds the drum that beats out creation. In the left hand is fire. Fire which destroys all that is over with. It's finished. He's standing on a demon. It's a dwarf, Muyalaka. He represents ignorance. So I love that Shiva dances upon ignorance. That I love. So his right hand is in the position Abhaya Hasta, do not fear. Many Hindu and Buddhist sculptures have the deities holding this hand in this position. Abhaya Hasta, do not fear. In this wild, chaotic maelstrom of the universe, when the world gets crazier day after day, do not fear. His left foot points down to the dwarf upon which he's dancing. And the earliest carving of Nataraja is from the 5th century AD in the Badami caves in South India. And I've always been fascinated with the idea of who came up with this idea of a god dancing the universe in and out of existence. That is fascinating to me. No one knows who these anonymous sculptors were. And they're bronzes, great bronzes of the statue that achieved perfection in the 11th and 12th centuries in the Chora Empire in South India. And you probably all know this, but there is a statue of Nataraja in front of CERN in Geneva, the Particle Accelerator Research Institute, and which I think is pretty amazing that this ancient figure has such resonance with our world today, has even more resonance, as a matter of fact, if you think about string theory and all that. So I won't go into all of that because I love talking about that, so I won't go into all of that right now. But so that is Shiva. And the next piece that Ishani is going to do is called Pradosha Samayadi. Pradosha Samayadi. I love saying it. And it's about Shiva dancing in the evening. In the evening, and all the turmoil and the sins of the day can be just forgotten, and there's peace in the evening. So you'll see her describe the sunset. So this is the sun, and here we go, the rays and the sunset. And Shiva dances in Kailasa, his mountain home in the Himalayas, and Parvati, his wife Parvati, daughter of the mountain, she sings. And Ganesha, their son, he beats out the rhythm, the tala of the dance. And as Shiva dances, nature comes to a standstill. So the breeze stops flowing, the trees stop swaying, and everyone watches and barely breathes. So that is the story behind this dance. And I don't think she's ready yet. Usually when she's ready, I can hear her bells. So I want to tell you something, an amazing story, I think, which is not a story, it's actually history. So in the 11th century, I started today talking about the 3rd century BCE, right? And now we have the 11th century. And in the year 1010, there was the great Chora Empire. And there was a great city called Tanjore, and there's a great temple in Tanjore. And the king, Raja Chola, he built this amazing temple to Shiva, which still stands. And in the year 1010, he inaugurated it. So he called all kinds of craftsmen from around the world. He called musicians and singers, servants of all kinds, of course, sweepers, potters, barbers, because you need barbers back then when you're having a great festival. Dance masters, parasol bearers, lamp lighters, because you need someone to light the lamps at night, washermen, tailors, goldsmiths, carpenters, and the most important profession of all, astrologers. So he called all these people to celebrate the inauguration, the dedication of this temple, in which there is a 12-foot black lingam. I have never been to this temple. And on the walls are carved the 108 poses of Shiva, because Shiva has 108 poses. Now, in addition to that, he called the Devadasis. So the king Raja Chora of the Chora Empire in the year 1010 called 400 dancing girls to his temple. And I love to imagine everything else that was going on in the world at this time. So in the 11th century, we had, just down the river, we had the whole Mississippian civilization. We had William the Conqueror enter England. In Japan, the first novel is written, The Tale of Genji. And in India, the great temple goes up. So these 400 dancing girls come, and you can still find the carving on the wall, which reads, on the south street, on the south row, house number 80, the girl Sengulam from the Tirumalai temple in Panchal village is still carved there. And what's also carved is how much she was paid and everything. It's amazing. So the Devadasis had to come to sanctify the temple. So, can I hear Ishani? Is she here? I think she needs a couple more minutes. So, okay. There was a poet who wrote about that era, and I just have to read this quote so you get an idea of what this was like. He said, "The hum of people in the city is like the noise of the ocean. The streets are all the colors of the rainbow. Banners fluttering, blue painted water pots on terraces, tanks as deep as the hearts of courtesans. Men and women beautifully dressed like a city of the gods. People of 18 languages were congregated here as thick as birds on a tree ripe with fruit." So that was what the city of Tangier was like in that time. Amazing to imagine. Marco Polo, the Venetian explorer, he described the Chora Empire as the richest province on earth. So this is the era, the place, the time in which the Devadasis were venerated, in which these dances achieved such prominence. So we now all hear the bells of Ishani. So I think she's ready to do Pradosha Samayadi. Enjoy.
प्रदोष समयदि परशिव ताण्डव समयदि परशिव ताण्डव प्रदोष समयदि परशिव ताण्डव प्रदोष समयदि परशिव ताण्डव परम मंगल कला महोत्सव प्रदोष समयदि परशिव ताण्डव परम मंगल कला महोत्सव प्रदोष समयदि परशिव ताण्डव परम मंगल कला महोत्सव प्रदोष समयदि परशिव ताण्डव पर्वतनन्दिनी दिव्यगायन पर्वतनन्दिनी दिव्यगायन पर्वतनन्दिनी दिव्यगायन परवशनाद परमेश्वरनर्तन परवशनाद परमेश्वरनर्तन तं 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 तरिकिटतक धिं 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 धनकटतक दुं 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 झुलक
ತಗ ದುಂ ದುಂ ದುಣ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ತಗ ನಂ ನಂ ಧಿಮಿ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ತಗ ದುಂ ತಟಿ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ತಗ ಧಿಂ ಧನ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ತಗ ದುಂ ಝಣ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ತಗ ನಂ ಧಿಮಿ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ತಗ ತಟಿ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ತಗ ಧನ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ತಗ ಝಣ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ತಗ ಧಿಮಿ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ತಗ ದಂ ತಟಿ ತಗ ಝಂಡು ಧಿಂ ತಟಿ ತಗ ಝಂಡು ದುಂ ತಟಿ ತಗ ಝಣ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ತಗ ದುಂ ದಂ ತಟಿ ತಗ ಝಂಡು ಧಿಂ ತಟಿ ತಗ ಝಂಡು ದುಂ ತಟಿ ತಗ ಝಣ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ತಗ ದುಂ ದಂ ತಟಿ ತಗ ಝಣ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ತಗ ದುಂ ಧಿಂ ತಟಿ ತಗ ಝಣ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ತಗ ದುಂ ದಂ ತಟಿ ತಗ ಝಣ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ತಗ ದುಂ ದಂ ತಟಿ ತಗ ಝಣ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ತಗ ದುಂ ದಂ ತಟಿ ತಗ ಝಂಡು ಧಿಂ ತಟಿ ತಗ ಝಂಡು ದುಂ ತಟಿ ತಗ ಝಂಡು ನುಂ ತಟಿ ತಗ ಝಣ ತಕ್ಕ ತಗ ದುಂ ದಂ ತಕ್ಕ ತಗ ದುಂ ಧಿಂ ತಕ್ಕ ತಗ ದುಂ ದಂ
ಪರವಶನಾದ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರನರ್ತನ ಪರ್ವತ ನಂದಿನಿ ದಿವ್ಯ ಗಾಯನ ಪರವಶನಾದ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರನರ್ತನ ಪ್ರದೋಷ ಸಮಯದಿ ಪರಶಿವ ತಾಂಡವ ಪರಮ ಮಂಗಳ ಕಲಾ ಮಹೋತ್ಸವ ಪ್ರದೋಷ ಸಮಯದಿ ಪರಶಿವ ತಾಂಡವ ಮೊಳಗಿದೆ ಮದ್ದಳೆ ಮೊಳಗಿದೆ ಮದ್ದಳೆ ತೋಂ ತೋಂ ತಗದಿಮಿ ತಗ ಜಣು ತೋಂ ಮೊಳಗಿದೆ ಮದ್ದಳೆ ತೋಂ ತೋಂ ತಗದಿಮಿ ತಗ ಜಣು ತೋಂ ಮೊಳಗಿದೆ ಮದ್ದಳೆ ತಗದಿಮಿ ತಗ ಜಣು ತಗದಿಮಿ ತಗ ಜಣು ತಗದಿನ ತೋಂ ತಗದಿನ ತೋಂ ತಗದಿನ ತೋಂ ಮರುದನಿಗೈದಿದೆ ಹಿಮವತ್ ಶಿಖರವು ಮರುದನಿಗೈದಿದೆ ಹಿಮವತ್ ಶಿಖರವು ಮಹಾಗಣಪತಿಯ ತಾಳಮೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಮಹಾಗಣಪತಿಯ ತಾಳಮೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಮಹಾಶಿವನ ತಾಂಡವ ಮನೋಹರವು ಮಹಾಗಣಪತಿಯ ತಾಳಮೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಮಹಾಶಿವನ ತಾಂಡವ ಮನೋಹರವು ಪ್ರದೋಷ ಸಮಯದಿ ಪರಶಿವ ತಾಂಡವ ಪರಮ ಮಂಗಳ ಕಲಾ ಮಹೋತ್ಸವ ಪ್ರದೋಷ ಸಮಯದಿ ಪರಶಿವ ತಾಂಡವ ಕೈಲಾಸವೇ ಧರೆಗಿಳಿದಿದೆ ಕುಣಿಯೂತ ಕೈಲಾಸವೇ ಧರೆಗಿಳಿದಿದೆ ಕುಣಿಯೂತ ಕಾಲವೇ ನಿಂತಿದೆ ಕಾಲವೇ ನಿಂತಿದೆ ಕಣ್ಣರಳಿಸುತ್ತ ಕೈಲಾಸವೇ ಧರೆಗಿಳಿದಿದೆ ಕುಣಿಯೂತ ಕಾಲವೇ ನಿಂತಿದೆ ಕಣ್ಣರಳಿಸುತ್ತ ಪ್ರಣತಾರ್ತಿಹರನ ಪದ್ಮಚರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಬೆಳಗುತ್ತಿದೆ ಪ್ರೇಮದಾರತಿಯ ಪ್ರಣತಾರ್ತಿಹರನ ಪದ್ಮಚರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಬೆಳಗುತ್ತಿದೆ ಪ್ರೇಮದಾರತಿಯ ಪ್ರದೋಷ ಸಮಯದಿ ಪರಶಿವ ತಾಂಡವ ಪರಮ ಮಂಗಳ ಕಲಾ ಮಹೋತ್ಸವ ಪ್ರದೋಷ ಸಮಯದಿ ಪರಶಿವ ತಾಂಡವ
So now, we have a lot of people who want to speak, and we're going to start with my mom.
First of all, I would like to thank Sonia Sharawat for introducing me to Ishani and her family. It has been a pleasure knowing them for quite a few years. And so I'm sure, hope we'll continue the friendship forever. And teaching Ishani has been a pleasant surprise to me. I didn't expect it at all, but it just happened. So I think she's a very good dancer, and I think, don't you think so? And so Ishani, please come here. Maybe have some work lights, please. We would like to have some work lights on the stage. Stage lights, please. Show this to everybody. First, go to the center. We need some lights.
So can we have some lights on the stage? Some work lights? Yeah. You can give it. Now, let's call up, if we have some people to speak. Let me call up some people first before Ishani. Unless Ishani wants to speak right now. Ishani? Yes, okay. Okay, great, perfect.
Sorry. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. So I am here to give the vote of thanks to everyone who has made this day possible for me and for my family. I'd first like to thank God for giving me the strength and the endurance to dance for this long. All my prayers have been answered, thankfully. Forever grateful. I'd next like to thank my parents. First, my mother, for everything, really, from day one. I mean, she struggled a lot carrying me, raising me. Not that I was a bad kid, but, you know, motherhood isn't easy. She was the one who inspired me to dance, who motivated me, who put me in dance class for the first time at 5. And she's the reason why I'm here today doing my Arangettam. She has made so many sacrifices for me, just too many to count. And she is such a hard worker. She wakes up every day early morning, does not go to bed until like 1 a.m. because she just works so hard and puts in her all to make sure that I'm okay, that our family's okay, that my grandparents are okay, and that everything goes perfect, really. And she's the reason why I'm here, and she makes sure that I can be the best person that I can possibly be. So thank you, Mom, for everything, really. I'd next like to thank my dad, who won't stop catcalling me from the audience. You know, my father has supported my mother and I for forever, really, ever since I was born. He is probably the reason why we're both alive today. Really, really. I mean, he kind of like tones down the craziness a little bit, you could say. He has also sacrificed so much. I mean, he takes care of us very well. He takes care of our family very well. He also works very, very hard. I mean, my parents, they're insane. I mean, he wakes up 5 a.m. every day, does not go to bed until middle of the night. I mean, he was up yesterday night ironing my dresses at 1 a.m., really. So yeah, he's, you know, our backbone, our #1 cheerleader, our support. So thank you, Dad, for everything. I'd next like to thank my grandparents who are here today by God's grace. They have raised me, or helped raising me, ever since I was a child, and they have supported me so much. I mean, both my grandparents are always on my side, and obviously they spoil me, but they have been such a great support for me and our family, so thank you, Mama and Tati. And thank you to the rest of the family for being here, for believing in me, for coming here to support me. I know you guys came from all over, LA, New York. My aunt and uncle, Atta and Mama, came from India. You know, despite my Atta's, my aunt's knee problem, she still sat in the 14-hour flight and came here just to see me. My great aunts and uncles coming from Naples, coming from LA, also coming from India, my mom's cousins coming from Cincinnati, my other aunt and uncle coming from Cleveland. There's so many. I'm sorry if I don't get to you. I'm thinking of you, I swear. I swear I am, you know. But thank you for being here. Next, my friends. I love you too. My #1s, my ride or dies, my second family, the siblings I never had. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys so much. You guys are the reason why I have fun in my life. So just thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you to all the guests that have came here from, you know, from near and far, for people just showing up here to support me, to watch me dance. I really do appreciate it a lot. Madhu Uncle for coming from New Jersey, Prasanna Uncle coming from Peoria just to see me dance, Sanjeev Uncle and his family coming from Florida. Thank you so much for being here. I'd like to thank our photographer, Tadas, for taking amazing pictures of all of us, for following us around and making sure this day is captured. Our videographer, Sibu, and his team, thank you for everything you're doing, taking the video of me and making sure, you know, there's a live stream. Oh, and shout out to the people who are watching the live stream. I have not forgotten you. The caterer for bringing all the amazing food here, the tech crew for making all the lighting and everything happen, the staff, the faculty, the cleanup crew, just everyone who works here at Oswego East for making this happen. Thank you to Prasanna Auntie for decorating, making those amazing decorations inside and out. Thank you to Sindhuaka, who has not only done my beautiful makeup and hair, but has also supported me throughout this whole journey, as she is a dancer herself. Thank you to Saithiaka, who is in India watching this through the live stream, who has helped me practice for 3 weeks to make sure that this day is perfect. And thank you for Padma Auntie and Jyoti Auntie and Vandana Auntie for helping with the decorations and backstage with the hair and makeup and everything. And last but not least, thank you to Asha Auntie for believing in me, for trusting me, for teaching me to dance and making all this happen. And thank you to Narthan Auntie for being an amazing MC. Love your storytelling. Oh, and I almost forgot. Thank you to my mentors and my teachers, Dr. Patel, Mrs. Marfadia, Mrs. Nawachik. Thank you so much for being here and for educating me and supporting me for the 1, 2, 3 years you've known me. So that is all. Thank you so much, everyone. If I have forgotten you, I'm sorry. You're still in my heart. Don't worry. I still love you. Thank you.
So at Dances of India, we have a tradition that every time someone graduates from the school, girls who've already graduated just come up and thank her. Congratulate her, sorry. Congratulate her. Ishani, is she still around? Ishani? Go, they congratulate her, and there, I think she's coming back. So we would, so Neha Sharabat from Tampa would like to congratulate Ishani.
I just want to say a quick congratulations to Ishani. She works so hard. She's done a beautiful job this far, and I can't wait to see the rest of the performance. So congratulations to the 108th graduate of Dances of India.
Thank you, Neha. Now I'd like to call up Dr. Patel to speak.
Sorry, I was sitting in the back originally with my family, the little kids. I want to thank Ishani, her parents, and her grandparents for inviting me and my family. It was amazing and a privilege through Ishani's dance and everything to be immersed in our culture and to be immersed in devotion. I'm excited to see, I've been excited to see her dedication, her hard work, and her love for the art form. I've been a family physician for Ishani's grandparents, and it has been my pleasure to take care of them. They're kind and soft-spoken. Her grandfather is always a gentleman, and I can see their composure and kindness in Ishani. Over the last year, Ishani has shadowed me often weekly, and it's been a great pleasure knowing her and just how she expressed kind of the 9 ras in the Devi. My short time that I've known her, you can see a lot of the various aspects in her personality. She has many interests and skills, and it's amazing that with practicing for the Arangettam, her academic studies, AP classes, sports, being a teenage girl, taking time to shadow with me, all these things, how she handles it and juggles it so well. She should be very proud of herself. It's encouraging to see a youth with so many aspects to her personality, and I hope she uses this to make a positive impact, and I know she is already to those around her and her culture. My office staff, the patients, and interacting with me, she's been very easy to talk to. She's very caring, funny, and personable. If she chooses, to continue to walk the path of being a physician, I know those characteristics of hard work, caring nature, and a personal personality will take her far and make her much loved by her future patients. Like I said, I'm very impressed with how she handles herself, being a teenager, and holding on to both the American culture and the Indian culture at the same time, and I hope she continues to do this in the future.
Thank you. I'd like to call up Mr. Naidu now, Ishani's uncle.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, gurus, and friends.
Namaskaram. I am V.S.R. Naidu, a retired government official of Andhra Pradesh in India. I stand before you as I and my wife, Vijaya Lakshmi, have come all the way from Hyderabad in India to here to witness the first program of Bharatanatyam of my niece, Ishani Gutta. As we all know, it is called Arangettam, the first step and gateway towards the spiritual journey of culture and arts. I pray the God Almighty to show our kindness on Ishani, to excel in this art. We are happy indeed for having taken a part in this program. Back home in India, where this Bharatanatyam took origin, I find a disappointing note that very few are taking interest into this art now. On the contrary, I find overwhelming support and encouragement here in America. That is very fascinating and happy note. For instance, Ishani, who is born and grown up here, has taken interest in this art. And the evidence is, I really don't find words to speak after witnessing this Mahishasura Mardani. I wanted to speak something else, but now I am speaking something different. I must congratulate and appreciate my brother-in-law, Venkat Ramana, and his wife Arundhati, who took interest in guiding her and supporting her to take interest in this art. And they have, as a matter of fact, preserved this art here. While today, we have witnessed the blossoming of young talent, a movement that will forever remain etched in our hearts. We have experienced the profound power of Bharatanatyam that transcended barriers of language, culture, and geography. It remained a testament to the universal language of art, a language that speaks directly to our souls and connects us all. As I watch my niece to grow and develop her passion for Bharatanatyam, I have witnessed the dedication and discipline and countless hours of practice she has put into master the art. I could see a tale of perseverance, sacrifice, unwavering commitment behind her every graceful movement and enchanting expression today. To my niece, my little star, know that our hearts are blossoming, brimming with pride and love for you, Ishani. We wish you all the best. God bless you. God bless America. Jai Hind.
His words on dance mean a lot because he was a stage actor, so which I just learned, which is pretty cool. And now I would like to call up Ishani's dear friend and makeup artist and dance teacher, Sindhu.
Gurubhyo Namaha, Namaste, and good evening, everyone. Today, we are thrilled to celebrate Ishani's Arangettam, a beautiful milestone in her journey as a dancer. As a family friend, I've had the joy of witnessing her growth And I proudly say that her dedication and commitment with lively teenage spirit have crafted her into a graceful performer we see tonight. I first met Ishani 4 years ago, helping her with makeup and dance practices. Ever since, she's embraced Bharatanatyam like a blooming flower, embracing every step and expression with passion and hard work. It's also been so happy to see her volunteer in my dance school, Natya Sindhu Performing Arts Academy, Naperville, Illinois, inspiring young students with their artistry. How can we forget our teenage attitude? It's a phase of dreams and adventure, and Ishani has infused her dance with youthful energy and charm, captivating all of our dreams. Throughout this journey, Ishani's parents and grandparents have been her unwavering support, especially her mom and dad, with love and sacrifice that they have done. I've seen it in my own eyes. Today we celebrate not just her Arangetram, but also the love, dedication, and sacrifice that has nurtured her success. Congratulations, Ishani. May your mesmerizing dance continue to inspire and uplift as you embark on a journey of endless opportunities and possibilities. And thank you. Have a great evening, everyone. Namaste.
Now I'd like to call up a fellow dancer whom I've heard of but never met, Prasanna.
Good evening, Shri Gurubhyam Namaha. I am Prasanna Jeer. I am the Artistic Director of Kaladhara School of Performing Arts here in Peoria, just 2 hours down south. I would like to start by my pranams to all the gurus here. I've heard a lot about Ashaka, but I've been very honored, and thank you to Ven and family, Arundhati family, to invite us for this performance. But first of all, I would like to congratulate Ishani for an amazing performance tonight. Please give a big round of applause for her. I did my Arangetram in 2018 under the guidance of Rama Suresh, who is a disciple of Tanjai Arunachalam Pillai. I'm currently learning from Guru Sri Shankar Kandasamy Anna in Malaysia, and Preeti Menon from Kalakshetra. I would like to say that one has to be truly very blessed to have an opportunity to do an Arangetram like this. And it speaks volumes of passion, dedication, and perseverance that one has to have a stage like this and perform. And they always say that when the student is ready, the guru arrives. And that's what has happened in Ishani's life, when truly her passion and dedication introduced Ashaka to her in Neha's Arangetram. And today she did a fabulous job, and my favorite piece is the Varnam. Like sir, you said, it is an amazing, I think the Devi is here tonight with us, and blessing Ishani with her beautiful performance. I'll just say a few more words and I'll step out. A lot of the, I teach a lot of Bharatanatyam students also, and when they enroll looking at a performance like this, I get a lot of students who enroll, but only few stay. And there is a lot of question about what is the right time to learn Arangetram or do Bharatanatyam, because people say high school is not the right time, there's so much on their academics. I would say that dance is not just an art, it's a way of life. It teaches you so much, and there are so many studies that says that when you learn a classical art form like Bharatanatyam, it sharpens your academic skills, because you're so focused in doing what she's doing. I mean, I think the padam that she did, she transformed herself into Krishna and Radha in just, a moment, right? So how much of an emotional control that she would have to just transform herself so quickly. That is the control we have in our emotions. And it definitely makes us a better person, in life. So again, huge congratulations to Ishani for her wonderful Arangetram. And I really, really wish, like everyone I have been saying, to continue to pursue this art and make it a part of her life. Thank you for inviting us, Wen.
I like very much what Prasanna said about dance being a way of life. You know, you hear so much nowadays about artificial intelligence replacing all kinds of jobs, but it can't replace dance. So I think we're safe. So I'd like to invite now Ishani's parents, who have been so sweet and so kind and so welcoming, and let them talk about their daughter.
I just want to clarify our names. Some people call Van, that's my professional circle. Some people call Venkat, that's my Chicago friends. And some people call Ramna, that is from India, my family. Likewise, she has 3 names. Arundhati, Chicago friends call her. Arun, professional name. And Dolly, that is the pet name, home name. One day, one of our friends called, "Can you speak to Dolly, to her grandfather?" He hung up the phone. Can you speak to Arundhati? Somebody called, and he answered. I don't really know her name. Everybody calls Dolly. So I just want to clarify, people use different names. So that's still the same people. It's up to you.
Thank you, everybody. Before I thank, there are some requests from my friends and Ishani's friends to go back and tell them the stories which I told in Ishani's sari function. These kids were small at that time, they didn't know. So they were asking, Mrs. Gutta, can you please tell us? Madhu, please excuse me if my speech is too long. You can come here and pull me out of the stage. Let me tell you, going back to when I was 5 or 7 years old, my mother joined me in a Bharatanatyam dance school. In those days, there was dance, and I think I went for a day or 2. My mom's father, my grandfather, is our guru. He's a godfather. He said, no, she's not joining any dance school. I still remember. I used to always have a fit with him. I said, why, Tataya? Then he didn't even look at me. He looked at my mom and he said, I will tell you exactly what he said in Telugu. Idi ganaka dance cheste, din evaru pelli cheskodu. That means if she's going to dance on stage, she's not going to get married. She's going to have to be alone, single for her rest of life. Back then, those days were different. So my mom and myself, we kept quiet for a few decades. There, and the story ends. The next thing is how Ishani was a miracle baby is she came into our lives very late. So late, we lost, but I don't want to go into details. But in 1998 and 99, I'm a devotee of Sai Baba. My grandmother is a devotee of Sai Baba. Internet was new. I met somebody, all the Sai devotees. One devotee, my friend Tyagu, said, hey Arundhati, there is a saint in Madurai. He wants you to come to Madurai. I said, what? He just sent an email. Okay, I don't know him, I haven't seen him. No video calls on those days. I told Van, we are going to India, can we go to Madurai? He says, crazy? You always believe in these Swamijis, astrology, and all those things. I said, I want to go see. We have seen Madurai temple already. Why do you want to go? I said to my friend Jayaka, what is Swamiji saying? There was a temple, Sai Baba temple. She said, she laughed at me and she said, I will tell you later, Arundhati, don't worry. That's that. There's another, my guru, late, that Shivaramakrishna Swamiji of Madurai is no more. He attained Samadhi. After that, late Krishnamurti Garu of Andhra Pradesh, my mom gave a date of birth and she asked him to write my horoscope. He did write something I didn't understand. I just kept the book, still it is there. Then my mom went to keep on going because I didn't have kids. She wanted me to have at least one kid. She went to another priest and asked him to write the horoscope. He did write something I didn't understand. So in 2005, Ishani was born, and it was a very rough pregnancy. I was hospitalized for 4 months. The doctors said at 20 weeks, they brought a big pile of neonatal intensive care unit. I didn't know what it was. Said, you have to read this. She might end up in NICU. I was totally devastated. I don't know what is NICU. I don't want to read about it. There were 2 perinatologists, 3 gynecologists making rounds, making sure what's going on. I was reading Vishnu Sahasranama. I was reading Hanuman Chalisa and Lalita Sahasranama. Every day, they used to take one day at a time, and this is going to be for another few weeks. Either one of you are going to make it. But finally, Ishani made it. 40 weeks, 80 pounds, full of hair. Sorry, 8 pounds, sorry, 8 pounds. Sorry. Finn, D'Angelo, I'm not going to be a Donahue's class. I don't want to go into detail anatomy. But she made it. She was 8 pounds, very big, chubby. I thought she wouldn't talk or she would have some deformity or something, but she was all fine. Okay, here comes the story. At 7 months, she tried to move around, and she started dancing and talking few words, and she wasn't walking. Then comes first birthday. She wasn't walking. My uncle was still holding her all the time. 14 months passed, 16 months passed, then came 18 months. She used to scoot on her butt and do the military crawling. So I took her to India so that my grandmother and Ishani's grandmother can see her. I was so nervous because she wasn't walking. They said, your uncles were 10 pounds. They didn't walk until like so long, nothing to worry. Okay, I'm relieved. Then I take her to her grandmother. She said, oh, my sons were so heavy, they didn't walk until 2 years. Okay, I thought I have 6 more months. She walked finally perfectly at 24 months. But she used to dance. At 18 months, we took her to Kanchi Kamakoti Peetam. Sri late Jayendra Saraswati, Swamiji was there. They said first he was not there. We were sitting in the audience, and he called one of his devotees and said, I don't understand Tamil. He said, can you bring that child? He did some sign language. So they took Ishani. I didn't know why they took Ishani. She was only 18 months. So he said, he took the child and he made her sit on his lap for so many, like 10 to 15 minutes. And everybody was surprised. Why? Because saints, from there, they don't touch our ordinary human beings. Now, my friends from Tamil Nadu say, don't hit or don't say anything to Ishani because Swamiji has given her blessings. So today, I think whatever Jayendra Saraswati was blessings, Asha Mat, they have come true because all these days I didn't believe the capacity in her. And same with Madurai Swamiji. Now Jayaka says, at that time in 1999, he said she will have a girl child and she will excel in dance and music. Ishani knows Carnatic music she learned, she can sing, but today we didn't have time to sing. So those words have come true. I want to be very brief, otherwise Madhu is going to get mad at me and when going to get mad at me. And Amma's wish has fulfilled today because she wanted me to dance and become a Bharatanatyam dancer, but that didn't happen. Now Ishani fulfilled, and I hope Ishani will fulfill Dad's dream. Dad wanted me to study medicine, but I couldn't. At least Ishani will study medicine and become a doctor and serve the needy. And this was not an easy journey. Every step of the way, we had hurdles. There were so many blockers. Last 3 years were very rough for me. COVID, Mom and Dad's health, they were hospitalized several times, but we made it. First of all, I want to thank Sanjeev, Sonia, and Neha, because if we would not have come to Tampa for Neha's Arangetram, Ishani would not have been performing today, or there was no Arangetram. It's all because of you, Sanjeev and Sonia. You were helpful every step of the way. You were like part of our family. I thank you from bottom of my heart. And thanks to Amma and Nana, Mamayas, Atamas, Vadina, Annaya, Sulochanakka and Bavagaru, Chitta Auntie, Satish, Neetu, Megha, Jay, Karan Auntie, Uncle, Vijayaka, Annaya, friends from Tampa, Sugnakar, Pramila, I'm seeing you since after 30 years, Maheshkar, Ramana's childhood friends. Thank you, Dr. Patel, for giving opportunity for Ishani. And all my Chicago friends, Padma made a special trip just for sake of Ishani within 3 months. Padma నీ రుణం ఎప్పుడు తీర్చుకోలేను. జ్యోతి, నా కళ్ళలో నీళ్ళు వచ్చినాయి. ఎందుకంటే నాకు కూడా ఆ థాట్ రాలేదు. నువ్వు దానికి మధ్యాహ్నం అన్నం తినిపించడానికి వెళ్ళినావు. She took food, one of my friend, to the green room and she made Ishani eat. That thought did not even come. So those are my friends, Vandana, Madhavi, Sunita. You all treated Ishani so special, Vijayaka, Seshi. They kept on buying expensive things, expensive clothes, brand names. There is no complaint. Everybody used to cherish Ishani so much. Friends, family, everyone. And the same thing I want to go back to and tell you, wherever I take temples or any saintly people, Ishani loves to go with me. Recent trip, I went to Chennai to buy the costumes. I was taking her to T Nagar and Mylapore. There was no, Uber was delayed. I said, Venkat, let's go take her in auto. And I want to let Ishani know what people go through, hurdles to learn Bharatanatyam. We have to go in she managed very well in 42 degrees centigrade weather. And she's very, very innocent and humble. She cannot lie. Every time, I think once or twice she did. I have to tell this to the friends. One of these days, she was walking to the bus stop. I said, I watch her every day when she's going to the bus stop. That day, what she did, Mom, get inside, I'm going to the bus. She closed the garage door. She was standing in front of the house and she was texting somebody. My heart was racing so fast. I was like, what is she doing? Then one car comes and she got into the car and she goes. Then immediately I called Venkat and said, she's going in somebody's car. We lost this child. Where is she going? Oh my God. Then she called. She's not answering. Okay, then I call her friends. Nobody's answering. Then Venkat called and said, where are you, Papa? She said, I'm in Vanisha's car. Then, why did you do this? Then she calls me and she starts crying, Mom, because you didn't sleep all night. I had to write to Vanisha, I'm safe, don't worry about it. So she has to be street smart. Life is not going to be easy. You have to be very careful. Mom and dad not going to be around when you go to college. I'm going to make it short. Please, let me. Okay, you want me to go? Okay. You don't want to say anything? Okay.
People are hungry, they have to eat.
Okay, I don't want to take much of your time. Asha Garu, I met Asha Premchandra at Tampa. When I saw her first, I thought she's Vaijayantimala's sister or someone. She's so energetic and beautiful. I dedicate Ishani's performance. This is 108th performance, Nuta Enimidava Arangetram. Asha Garu, ఇది Dr. Prem Chandra Gariki Ankitam. I'm dedicating this 108 Arangetram to Dr. Prem Chandra, your husband, is watching from heaven. That's a great achievement, Andy Miku. I wish you all happiness, health at this age too. And the way you taught Ishani, I can never forget. And thanks to Venkat for all the support. Sometimes he's cranky, he's tied up with the work. Stress. But we gave him really hard time in Chennai. When we went to Mylapore temple, he was so mad, but we did it. Okay, the last, I want to give the credits to the costumes designed by myself, and I got it made from SR Shanti Tailors, jewelry from SR Temple Jewelry, Maha Temple Jewelry, Nagarkoil. The silks are from Kumaran says Challa Subramaniam from Dharmavaram. Saji from Digital Fancy Videography. Thank you, Saji, you did it. Even though mom was sick, you came back and doing it. Tadas, being out of country, but you still did it. Thank you very much. Prasanna for decorating. Catering, bowl of biryani. Arvind and Giri, thank you very much. Sindhu, thank you very much for the makeup. Natya Sindhu. And giving opportunity to volunteer for Ishani used to teach Adavus to small kids. And if I have missed anyone, please excuse me. Amma and Nana, thank you for being here. Mamaya, thank you for coming. Pedda Mamaya, because of you, we are here today. Chinna Mamaya, thank you for taking care. Auntie and uncle, thank you for taking care of Amma. ఈ రోజు నీ కోరిక నెరవేరింది. దాని అరంగేటం చూస్తానో లేదో అనుకున్నావు. She was always wishing I would be alive or not till to see Ishani's Arangettam. But God being so kind, and she made it, even though she was sick from last 3 weeks in and out of the hospital.
2 weeks back, she thought that she couldn't make it. I told her, you will make it. Today morning, I woke up and said, today is August 5th, and you are here. I even told her, you may witness her wedding as well. So, you never know.
So, Mamaya, you want to say something? No. You have I can give you a few minutes. The Mamaya, Archana Mamaya? You good? Thank you. Okay, I would like to appreciate Asha Garu, Nartana, and Sindhu with a small token of appreciation. Asha Garu, can you please come onto the stage, Andy? Can you ask them to put the lights?
Stage lights, please. So she covered for me, so I don't want to waste more time. So I know we are all hungry. Just one more dance after this, then we all break out for dinner. Sorry, we break out for the day and make sure everybody has dinner before they leave.
So now we come to the end of, almost the end of the Arangetram. And of course we end with the Tilana, a musical composition that is really pure rhythm and joy, although it does have a short verse in it about a goddess we haven't heard from tonight, Saraswati, goddess of creativity and intelligence. And there's a verse about her and Lakshmi and Shakti, yeah. And before we go, I would like to say, before Ishani comes on, I would like to say that this is the 108th Arangetram, and the 108 is sacred around the world, and every religion is sacred. And I read that in Sanskrit, the number 108 gives joy. So we can say that Ishani has really given us joy tonight. So, yeah, so we will have a Tilana followed by a Mangalam, and and then you can have dinner with Venkat and Arundhati. Thank you.
Dhi tanate dirane udane tere nani dhi. Dhi tanate dirane udane tere nani dhi. Nare dani kondra dani kilane dhi. Tanate dirane udane tere nani dhi. Nare dani kondra dani kilane dhi. udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de dene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de dene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani di nadre dani tomdre dani tilane di tene de tirene udane tere dani nadre dani tomdi tattari gida tom tomdre dani tomdi tattari gida tom nadre dani tomdi tomdre dani tomdi nadre dani tomdi tattari gida tom tomdre dani tomdi tattari gida tom nadre dani tomdi tomdre dani tomdi tattari gida tom tari gida tom gida tom tom hittari gida tom tari gida tom gida tom 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 tari gida tom tari gida tom gida tom tom nam tari gida tom tari gida tom gida tom tom taddittalangu tom tagadigu tadi gida tom dittalangu tom tagadadi gida tom talangu tom tadi gida tom tadi gida tom im tadi ಇಷ್ಟಾರ್ಥಗಳಿಗೆ ಶ್ರೀಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿಯಾಗಿ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಸಾಧನೆಗೆ ಶ್ರೀಶಕ್ತಿ ರೂಪದಿ ಬಂದು ಸಕಲರ ಪಾಲಿಸು ಜಗದೀಶ್ವರಿ. ಜ್ಞಾನ ಸಾಧನೆಗೆ ಶ್ರೀ ಸರಸ್ವತಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಷ್ಟಾರ್ಥಗಳಿಗೆ ಶ್ರೀಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿಯಾಗಿ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಸಾಧನೆಗೆ ಶ್ರೀಶಕ್ತಿ ರೂಪದಿ ಬಂದು ಸಕಲರ ಪಾಲಿಸು ಜಗದೀಶ್ವರಿ. ತರಿಗಿಡದು ತರಿಗಿಡದು ಗಿಡದು ತುಂ ಧಿತ್ತರಿಗಿಡದು ತರಿಗಿಡದು ಗಿಡದು ತುಂ ತುಂ ತರಿಗಿಡದು ತರಿಗಿಡದು ಗಿಡದು ತುಂ ನಂ ತರಿಗಿಡದು ತರಿಗಿಡದು ಗಿಡದು ತುಂ ತದ್ದಿತ್ತಣಾಂಗುದುಂ ತಗದಿಕು ತದಿಗಿಡದು ದಿತ್ತಣಾಂಗುದುಂ ತಗದದಿಗಿಡದು ತಣಾಂಗುದುಂ ತದಿಗಿಡದು ತರಿಗಿಡದು ದಿ ತರಿಗಿಡದು ತರಿಗಿಡದು ದಿ ತರಿಗಿಡದು 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 ದಿ ತನ ತದಿರನ ವಿದನ ತರದಾನಿ ದೀಂ ನಾದ್ರದಾನಿ ತೊಂದ್ರದಾನಿ ತಿಲ್ಲನದಿ ತನ ತದಿರನ ವಿದನ ತರದಾನಿ ದೀಂ ನಾದ್ರದಾನಿ ತೊಂದ್ರದಾನಿ ತಿಲ್ಲನದಿ ತನ ತದಿರನ ವಿದನ ತರದಾನಿ ದೀಂ ನಾದ್ರದಾನಿ ತೊಂದ್ರದಾನಿ ತಿಲ್ಲನದಿ ನಾದ್ರದ ತೊಂದ್ರದ ಇಲ್ಲ ನದಿ ನಾದ್ರದ ತೊಂದ್ರದ ಇಲ್ಲ ನದಿ.
मङ्गलं जय मङ्गलं मङ्गलं शुभमङ्गलं मङ्गलं जय मङ्गलं मङ्गलं शुभमङ्गलं मङ्गलं जय मङ्गलं इन्दीवराक्षगे इभराजवरदगे इन्दिरारमण गोविन्द हरिगे इन्दीवराक्षगे इभराजवरदगे रमण गोविंद हरिगे नंदन कंदगे नवनीत चोरगे वृंदार केंद्र उडुपिय कृष्णगे नंदन कंदगे नवनीत चोरगे वृंदार केंद्र उडुपिय कृष्णगे मंगलम जय मंगलम मंगलम शुभ मंगलम मंगलम जय मंगलम व्यासावतारके वेद उद्धारके वासितानंद हरि सकलेशगे व्यासावतारके वेद उद्धारके वासितानंद हरि सकलेशगे वसुदेव मूर्ति पुरंदर विठलगे दासरा कायम रुक्मिणी रमणगे वसुदेव मूर्ति पुरंदर विठलगे दासरा कायम रुक्मिणी रमणगे मंगलम जय मंगलम मंगलम
Thank you, and please join us for dinner. Thank you.